It's just
the
the
intro,
like it's fucking. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Comedy Corner, and a very, very special guest with us here tonight. And by the way, Merry Christmas and Christmas Day. Hopefully, you're all sitting down watching it. Is after the King's speech, of course. So yes, we have a very special guest here. A lot of people, championships are won through racers and whatnot, but it's what goes on in the background. And my good colleague here, Korie McGreevy, please introduce our special guest.
Gareth, as we were saying in podcasts gone by, we are going to interview and see people from this country with talents. This talent is in a different form, as you were just about to say. This country's blessed with world champions. We'll have Johnny Ray, we've had Joy Dunlop, Brian Reid. But I think our guest here is maybe in a smaller category than that.
Yep.
He's a newly crowned World Supersport 300 crew chief, Scott Thompson. Thank you very much for coming on.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Welcome, buddy. Good to see you again.
Yeah.
Haven't seen you in I don't know how long.
Probably in a set of leathers last time.
In a set of leathers, yeah.
You're looking a lot tanner these days anyway, from riding about Kirks and Bishopcourt. Yeah, no, you're looking good. Tell me this, Scott, right? So what we do in these podcasts, we want to go back to the very beginning for all our guests. Basically, how did motorbikes get incorporated in kind of their lives? Yeah. So take us back to the beginning. Where did motorbikes and Scott collide?
Probably late on compared to most.
Mm-hmm.
My uncle raced, but well, actually a couple of my uncles raced sort of back in the day as such, like, when they used to put spouting bolts on the chains and things like that. Like
proper racing, some people
proper racing, yeah. But my sort of first encounter with it was another uncle who raced with a couple of friends and that at Akadui. And I just remember standing there at sort of 14, 15 maybe, and watching it going, I could do that, like.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what the sort of, that probably was the buzz I got out of it, like watching them do it and going, I could do that.
So you didn't have the traditional route, you weren't like schoolboy motocross, you didn't do anything like that?
No, I had a Honda 50.
Right.
It came from my granddad, used to be a cox in the lifeboat, and we eventually got it off him and just destroyed it, like.
Yeah,
right.
Racked it.
As you did with a Honda 50. Wouldn't have been easy, right?
It wasn't easy. I ended up with a pair of vice grip, changing the gears, a bit of copper pipe for the exhaust, like. But that's how I started riding. That was the first ever bike.
I saw your kind of introduction to bikes then.
Yeah.
So,
what age would you have been then?
Yeah, 15, 16, somewhere around.
So it was
late
kind
enough.
of late enough compared to like probably like what we were at the time, like.
Speak for yourself. I was 16 too whenever I started.
So, was your introduction as well? Did you go into racing, or did you have a bike on the road when you were 16?
Straight into racing.
Straight into racing.
Yeah, Mum didn't allow me to have a bike.
No.
So a friend of mine that actually used to fly model airplanes.
Right.
And this fella that flew model airplanes with, he bought a wee RS125 and was sneaked off and done it, like, because Mum would have broke my legs, like.
Right. So, you started racing 125s then?
Started racing 125s, yeah.
And what year would that have been?
That's
you bad with it?
Oh, terrible, like.
Yeah.
80.
I finished 80. I finished in 2011 and I raced for 4 or 5 years maybe, so 05, 06.
05, 06, and that would have been the Clubman's type stuff.
The Clubman's, yeah. The first ever race on it was, we sneaked off to Mondello, and they were racing with that combined race with the Jeep Grand Prix and the Aprilias.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
And here, I've never been at a racetrack actually to see the format or nothing of it, like, so we were just, this is my class, he's pushing me out, away we go. So I finished the Sunday, and there was a bit of commotion happening because somebody got knocked off, and I was I don't think I was involved in it, but it was just a mess because there was really, really fast guys, and then there was us just with no power. It was dangerous probably.
Yeah, the production bikes.
And we packed up anyway and left, hooked it away from the track, like, and got the paper on the Thursday, and I'd won the bloody 125 race.
Is that right?
They didn't know it, like, didn't know what sort of happened, like.
Your first race?
First race.
Jesus Christ.
That's why we left, actually. They were calling my name on the tannoy.
You thought you were in trouble?
You think your mom was ringing you?
Get this bike into the trailer, we're going up the road, like.
Class.
Flipping heck. Yeah. What was going through your head then when you were packing? You were thinking, "Fuck, I'm not coming back here."
It was my first time down south as well. It was
over the border.
Yeah.
Did you bring your passport?
I had your
Mexico
punts and everything. Like. Yeah, it was. It's a good memory that now when I think back on it now. Like.
Yeah. And did you continue racing for the rest of that year then?
Continue that year on that bike, and as I say, just learning every time you went out, type of thing. Like, there wasn't very. I suppose it's probably like that as well now in club and racing. There isn't that help to sort of guide you. You sort of have to go out and make your
work it out
mistakes
yourself.
and try and work out yourself.
And did you, at this time, have a job or apprenticeship, or what were you doing then?
But working for the guy I work for now, Francis Watson's in Clogher.
Yeah. That's a hardware store.
It was a hardware store.
You're still working for them?
Still work for them.
It must be alright to work for it.
Oh, they're good, very good guys. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with you going away and all and something.
Yeah, his father sponsored me from the start.
Right.
When I started working for him, and then obviously was flexible with my racing, practicing and things like that. Like, and now his son is very, very similar. Like,
yeah,
sort of works around my dates, and because it's a lot of time away from work. Like, and it's not so much the world's. It's a bit different because it's quite sort of formulated into one a month, and it's spread out a bit.
Yeah.
When I was doing the British and the roads, it was a big commitment away from work. Like, yeah.
So going back kind of to your own racing, your own kind of roots. You done a bit of 125 racing, did you for a couple of seasons? One season?
Done that for a season and then went to a 600, Honda 600.
106 steel frame?
You don't think about it, do you?
No.
Steel frame. Yeah. I was big. You know, I wasn't skinny. I was never skinny. Like, well, not fat, but I was just a tall sort of fella, sorry. And I was always cramped onto the 125. And the Grand Prix 125 definitely wasn't for me. So we went down that avenue and had I think I had 2 years on that. And then a move of regret still is going to 650 when they come out.
The Super Twins?
Super Twins.
Yeah.
The Bills pumps.
Went to Super Twins with Suzuki. Done a bit of tuning at it. I think we got up to 85, 86, 87 horsepower, somewhere there. And thought we had this real trick thing to go out like. And the very first day at Kirkson, Farquhar came down with these ER6s. And we're standing yarn to him like, and I'm looking at my bike going, this is trick, you know, and have a good go at this like. What a horsepower is 80 something. They just laughed like. He said, you need 3 figures in this class. Like. You know, and from that, I pushed on with it and overrid and crashed and, you know, got frustrated and at it like, but you did need to have a ridiculous budget. Yeah. You know, even to go into that class, it was supposed to be a sort of a medium class between the 125s and Supersport or Superbike, like. Yeah. And it ended up being just a money racket, like.
Yeah. It's funny, I was talking to Michael Sweeney at Killalane one year. And he says, I was talking about getting a 650 and stuff, and he said, you'll be wasting your time. He says, that 650, that Superbike, costs less than that 650 to build. Like.
You could definitely build a pretty trick 600, but definitely at that time, like, compared to what you can build a trick Super Twin, obviously, because you're obviously starting off with a bike's not designed to be ridden hard anyway, like, so then you're changing everything with it, like, and it just turned into, as you say, a money racket. Yeah. So, you done a year of Super Twins then?
2 years off
2 years.
But it was sort of, I wasn't stuck, he had no money. The same as every racer, like, you know, every penny you made, you put it into it type of thing. So we didn't have the opportunity to go and just jump ship and go for something else, like. Yeah. So we stuck at it for 2 years. And then actually, funny, the uncle that I went to see racing when I was 14 and 15, he still had his R6 in his garage and he pulled it out and let me do a race at Kirkson on it. Right. And it was the race, I remember you'll remember it, but it flooded, Debtors flooded.
And you had to cut across.
Yeah.
That was one of my first races. I remember that, yeah. I remember that into like the go-kart
bit.
The
go-kart bit and then down the back straight.
Yes. But then they let you, like, for the last race, you're allowed to get gone home.
Yeah, the last lap, you're in the Debtors.
Yes.
Yeah, it was mental. But we went down on the Wednesday and done the full track. That was the first time back on the 600. I instantly just fell in love with the thing. Like, it just felt effortless. Yeah. You know, you weren't, it was just, I don't know what it was about it, the 4 cylinders or what it was. It just suited me, like. And I had a real good vibe on it, and then got there on Saturday, and then had to do this little go-kart track, which was insane.
Like, I remember it was like first gear on a Prix. Around that wee bit, it was
first gear in the 600.
It was probably the last great like health and safety risk this country had ever had. Like thinking back on it,
I never forget it.
YouTube or Facebook was right then, like,
oh, you know, like definitely not.
No, it'd be a nightmare.
That time I was riding Raymond Lilly's Superbike. Right. It was a K4. It was a K2 or K4, come on. And it's a big armchair of a thing, like big Suzuki. And the front forks, they were proper Ohlins. They were like Grand Prix forks.
Right, okay.
Or what I thought they were like proper world superbike sort of spec things, like. And big brakes and all on it. And we came down, I think we were landing second or something. We were dicing for the lead. And every lap in the last race, see when you tipped in just after the flag there, or the curb, and the fork was bottom right every time. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Just trying to get the bloody thing.
But that was a big depression going in there. Yeah. But over the pit lane, like, it was a depression going in there.
And you banked right over, and this, trying to get this bloody Titanic turned at the end of the pit lane, like. And You want to see a steel of forks? Oh,
Yeah, that was an interesting event.
It was unreal.
So that was your the route back in the 600s then?
That was the route back. So as soon as I done that, actually as well, I don't know if it was before that or after, but Steve Baker's wife had a Prix 97 Honda thing that she'd done track days on, and I had a run on it as well. I think it could have been the same. No, it wasn't the same event. It was a full track. But anyway, that was it. 650 was
parked
away, parked like the way. And then this new class came out. We had a first ever fundraiser at a wee local golf club. Got a few pound together, bought this R6, tricked it up, and then that was it. Never looked back.
Never looked back.
Unbelievable. Probably one of my best years ever racing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that would have been around about probably 2010?
2011.
2011. And that's...
You only raced that for 1 year.
1 year, yeah.
Is that right? I always remember you... I don't know. I always remember you in this... It was blue and white R6, was it?
It was blue and white R6, yeah.
For some reason, I
1 year.
remember you... I thought you raced that for years.
No, 1 year.
And was that the year that you got the championship, obviously? And then you moved on to, obviously...
I went to Australia then after it.
You went to Australia?
Straight after, yeah.
Just
and so what were you doing in Australia then?
It was a mate of mine was sort of plaguing to go to Australia, not plaguing, but he always kept dropping it, mentioning it, and dropping it, mentioning it. And won the championship, which wasn't a good... The last round was cancelled, so I never actually got to take a checkered flag.
Right, okay, yeah.
I think I needed 4 points. It was a 15th finish or 13th or something to win it. But the last round was cancelled, so it was sort of like an anticlimax.
You didn't get a chance to...
Didn't get a chance to cross the line to get it. But anyway, we booked for Australia. If I say that was October, I think November, we went to Australia. And my plan was to go for a couple of months, come home. And because that's all you thought. Your calendar goes with the racing calendar.
Yeah.
It still does now. And that's all was in my head, was go there for a few months, have a bit of fun, come back, and then get back at it. And I end up 4 years there.
4 years? Right. And what were you doing over there, work-wise?
Everything from picking oranges to chauffeuring boys about, doing these kids 12-volt car things in schools, and kids growing it, they didn't understand a word I was saying.
Just hustling over there.
Yeah.
Situation.
But I ended up with 2 years, or just over 2 years, with a silage contractor.
Right, okay.
Sort of a 2 seasons with grass and corn and wheat and stuff like.
And there was no motorbikes over there? You never thought of trying to...
Well, I did. I had a lap around Phillip Island. There was a wee small Yamaha dealership. Yeah. And they were paying, these customers were paying to go down and, ride around.
Brilliant.
So I got speaking to him in the pub and happened to say to him, listen, I done a bit of racing, bloody bad. And then it developed into going down to Phillip Island. And the first session, it was businessmen, all these weird sort of bikes. And I said, I want an R6, Phillip Island. I'm riding R6, I want an R6. So I went out for the first session and came in again, and he just told me off. He gave me some bollocking.
Really?
I never thought anything up behind me. I just went out and went, boom, track day, Phillip Island. Never seen the boys behind me.
Seriously?
So the rest of the day was spent at 40 mile an hour just looking behind you.
That's sick.
Yes,
at least you got a fast lap.
Well, fast. A bit embarrassing. But that's the only... I had a 250 scrambler when I'd bush riding and stuff that was...
Yeah, so you kept your hand in a wee bit then, you weren't doing any racing.
No, nothing. From that.
Bush riding.
And so you're right.
Proper Australian. Right back.
Yeah.
So then, you done your 4 years in Australia and you came back home. Did you come back home racing, or did you...
No, I came back home with the sort of racing bug out of me.
Right.
I did come home, before I actually moved home permanently, I came home, that R6, I gave the fella that started me racing, his daughter was racing.
Right, okay.
And I let them use it while because it was only lying in my shed.
Oh, yeah.
And I came home a few months before I came home properly and done a track day at Kyrgyzstan. And the front, it didn't tuck, but the handlebar came in at debtors. And I straightened it up and came into the pits and says, that's it.
No, that's
because I didn't react to it.
Yeah.
My only reaction to it was, I'm away.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Where before, and you right now, that reaction's gone before it even reacts. Where it happened, and I just come back and I says, no, I've had my fun out of that.
Yeah.
Well, did you ever think about going back, or was it
it's always in you,
Yeah.
It's never going to leave you. All these tracks we go to, and I'm doing all the setups, these bikes, and it's always in the back of your mind. I would love to go, but that one moment sort of brought it to reality. I think, I've had that fun and done it, and it scared me a bit because I didn't react to it. I just sat on it.
It's weird, isn't it? Because the amount of crashes you have throughout your career, the near misses.
Yeah.
And something so simple and not scary to anyone else.
No.
Something clicks in the head.
But it wouldn't even look like anything. It literally just come in an inch.
Yeah.
And yet when I think about the middle chicane at Bishop's Court, the amount of times you're putting your body weight into that and it lands and you're full lock on, and not caring, like.
Mm-hmm.
Where that one little moment, I was like, no,
it just sparked something in you.
It just sparked something. I'm happy enough not rolling about the grass.
Yeah. And this question probably be mature, but do you get more of a buzz doing what you're doing now than you did in any of your racing?
50-50.
50-50.
Yeah. It's very close.
Yeah, it's probably more job satisfaction now.
But mechanicking, I always enjoyed mechanicking.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of the idea of preparing a perfect bike, not breaking down the fine detail of it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go to crew chief and setting the bikes up, it does give you that extra bit of sort of maybe internal feeling involvement in it.
Mm-hmm.
That actually every single click you're doing or change you're doing or whatever is actually making an impact out there. It's the next best thing to do until riding it.
Yeah.
I think that's where I'm enjoying that sort of...
Yeah, you're seeing the kind of the fruits of your labour as such. So you're obviously sitting, we can discuss this later, but you're sitting down having a debrief with your rider at the time, and your changes, their result determines on what you believe is the best setting for them going forward then.
Yeah.
And
that's
obviously,
where you get
obviously too, they have confidence. And
well, that's obviously we'll delve in a wee bit later then about that, but the relationship between a rider and a crew chief is a very crucial one.
It's 100%,
yeah. So obviously you had your incident going around Datters and you pulled in. Mm-hmm. Was the plan from then to stay in motorbike racing, or what was your game plan then?
Probably no game plan, really. You know, always, like when you're involved in bikes and you race bikes, it's always, you know, if a bike goes by, you'll look around. Like,
yes.
You know, it's always in you. But I never had any plan or goal to be where I am now. It just sort of all...
I stumbled upon it.
It just kept on folding and doors opened and doors closed as well. Like, you know, but there was, to get to this point, I never came home and went, right, I want to be a crew chief.
Yes.
It didn't happen again. Like, it just sort of...
Yeah, I just
kept rolling.
Manifest itself.
Yeah.
So, when would have been the first time that you actually set out and went and, you know, mechanic for someone or help someone, or where did the
when I came home from Australia, I spoke to Tim Martin about a job in the race team. Mm-hmm. And again, I didn't really know Tim, but I knew Kirk Jameson and the other fellas. Mm-hmm. But he didn't have a job, basically. He had a job mechanicing on the trucks, which he didn't really want to do. Like,
no. Big heavy old shitty work.
Yeah, it was all big stuff, Christ. Like, you know. So the waist socket was maybe a 2-inch socket, like.
Yeah.
But shortly after that, he rang me to say there was an opening in Martrain Racing. So I went and met them. That's a good story, yes. I went and met them at the award ceremony. Mm-hmm. So it was my first time sitting down meeting big Andy Jameson, you know, the crew chief. And Dan, his wife Leanne, Tim, Sonia, the rest of the team were there basically. Mm-hmm. But I got it wrong because I arrived for the drinks reception.
Right.
And made a hand at the drinks reception.
Right.
Because I was seeing people I hadn't seen in 5-6 years.
Yeah.
So when we sat down for the awards thing, I was fairly...
Yeah.
You were right on.
Yeah.
Well lubricated.
And I remember the day after, Andy Jameson telling me that Dan said to him, that fella's not to touch my bike.
Is that right?
And then how things turned around, that it turned in that nobody else was allowed to touch his bike but me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that would have been, the end of 2015?
That was 2015, yeah.
End of 2015. So you were for a full roads campaign in 2016 with Dan Name?
Yep. So we've done quite a bit of racing with Scarborough, local stuff. The Northwest, I remember it very clearly. The night before the truck went to the Northwest, Dan phoned to say that he broke his wrist.
Yes, I remember that.
So just as the lorry was packed up, ready to go, like, and we had McWilliams stood in.
That's right. Yeah.
Which was interesting, Northwest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would say
How so? Any stories from it?
Nothing.
No.
Yeah, maybe when them red lights were off. Like.
Right.
Oh, right, okay.
On record.
He rode the R1 as well,
he
didn't
rode
he?
the R1, yeah. So he rode the 600 and the R1.
Mm-hmm.
I think he rode did he ride the Superbike as well? Did he ride the 3 of them or just the 600 and Stalker?
I think, he sat on the Superbike, didn't he? He might have done qualifying or something.
Maybe, I just can't remember
I think he raced the stock.
But it was actually, again, for me, first year back into it. Mm-hmm. Obviously, meeting Dan and that, I didn't know who Dan was. Mm-hmm. You know, Dan's just a road race type thing. But when Jeremy Williams was put down, like, I was sort of maybe starstruck about, like, that you're going to actually work with Jeremy Williams. Mm-hmm. So it was very good from that aspect. Like.
It's one for the CV.
That's one for the CV, yeah. He's got a nice poster that he signed after it, just...
thanking you.
Brilliant.
Yeah. And did you have to miss the TT as well then?
Missed the TT
completely. And you just didn't have any stand-in for them?
No, there's no point. The TT's a unique place. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure, again, I'm not a team owner, but there could be plenty of young boys that would love to get on the bike, like, but the TT isn't that sort of place to bring somebody that's a year or two into it and say, here you are, have a factory Yamaha.
No. Yeah, there's a brand new
without
bike.
pressure, the team, the full-time guys, the crew chief, everything. You don't need that at the TT. You need to just work your way slowly.
No, it could be too overwhelming for a kind of new rider at that stage. Like,
especially with setup and stuff as well. With you jump on, you have to learn a new bike, a new super bike around the craziest track in the world.
It's a height of madness. So then Dan probably got back. He was fit enough from his injury then.
He got back fit, and I think the first one back was the Southern 100.
Okay, yeah.
Went to it.
Some spot to go back, testing your wrist.
Have you raced the Southern, have you?
No, for that reason. No, my front teeth are fake, you see, so rattled out.
Is there not someone that think the Southern only has like 2 walls, left and right?
Yeah.
It's a different race now.
Unbelievable.
Fantastic track though, like. It's a good laid out track.
Lovely layout.
Lovely layout.
Bumpy hole.
It's very like Tandragee, the first bit of Tandragee, which is like a proper road racing track. And then you have that wee bit at the back of Tandragee. Take that out, and that's what the Southern's like. Yeah. It's a real good.
I think it's a very well organised event as well, isn't it?
It's very laid back as well. Like. It's very relaxed atmosphere at it.
As you can see, all the parties and bonfires going off.
Yeah.
There's people stay there 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
We'll go like 4 days before. And then,
it's a good event.
Well, the weather's usually good too.
I remember I did go actually to the Southern one time. I was only about 17 at the time. Me and the girlfriend who we were still with together, like just slept back to golf for 3 days. And I remember just being so chilled out. They're done just a bit of racing in the evenings. Yeah. And then just went about their kind of day normally. So Dan, he was back for the Southern.
He was back for Southern, and then after that went to Macau.
Yes.
Which is an experience.
Was the Ulster on that year? No.
The Ulster was... Did we do the Ulster? We did do the Ulster, yeah. He podiumed the Ulster actually on the R1.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you had Macau. Was that your first time obviously going to Macau?
First time Macau, yeah.
What's that like first spot?
It was an eye-opener.
Sure. Is there any mental stories there from there? Or off-camera stuff again?
It's not really... It's a weird place because the motorbikes are just a side attraction there.
Yeah.
But there's that little office there. You sort of go about in a group. Like, it's actually quite nice that the owners ride it. Everybody's in a group sort of traveling around together and that. But actually for the event, it's nuts. Like, you're on track at 6 o'clock in the morning with 40 degrees, 100% humidity. It's intense. Like,
yeah.
And it's just barrier. Like, there's there's a different feeling there because it's not like any other race. All the riders are socialising together, and
it's a lot more relaxed.
It is very much so. Like, we're all here for a bit of fun. Like.
Yeah, it's not as competitive as the likes of the TT.
No. And again, everybody wants to win it, of course, but they're not feeling it on. You'll see it if you watch any of the Macau's. Like, boys that should be there at the front, if they're not feeling it, you see them 5th and 6th.
You always see that. The Macau almost looks like to some riders like maybe like an end of year blowout.
It could be, yeah. It's definitely a blowout place. You can definitely blow out in
Macau. Blow out a few things.
It's a bit of a spot, is it?
It's yeah.
What's the nightlife?
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's I've never been to Vegas. I'm going to Vegas next month.
Yeah.
But I can imagine it's just Vegas on steroids.
Yeah.
It's just these massive hotels with fountains and gold and helicopters and upstairs pools and casinos everywhere.
Class.
Brilliant.
And then funny, we got tickets and went, or not tickets, visas. I went into China, which is just you go under a road basically into China.
Yeah.
And you want to see that for slum, like.
Really?
Just from one extreme, and literally from here to where my car's parked, like just complete slum.
A different world.
Getting sold, cut up, and it's just a madness.
Jesus Christ.
Madness.
From all the riches and...
Oh, I mean riches, like beyond what, I can't tell you what it's like until you actually stand there and witness it, like.
I remember talking to Paul Thompson one time, Stephen Thompson's brother, and he was saying there was a lighthouse. I think, pretty sure he says there was a lighthouse when they first went, and then the sea. But now the lighthouse is the centre of Macau.
They just keep building it out, don't they?
The money is no object there.
Yeah.
No object.
Unreal.
I got arrested in it.
You got arrested?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Your first time going?
First time, yeah. First time I got arrested.
You really don't hang about
with another rider like that would just leave like that.
Right, okay.
So we got arrested down the street anyway for nothing serious. Like I'll tell you in a minute what it was.
Right, okay.
So handcuffed. They've no English whatsoever. So it's just angry, aggressive. Hong Kong men are Chinese.
Yeah.
Racist here, like they're just highly aggressive people, like. So they handcuffed us and brought us back to the hotel. Eventually, once we got told them where we were and stuff, like, got to the hotel, And when we got to the hotel desk, all the other teams and riders were in the bar. So it was mayhem, like, and us them were handcuffed up to the reception.
Oh my God.
And they wanted to see our documents. And when I got to the hotel desk, I remembered at the last minute I changed rooms. So on paper I was supposed to be Randy Jameson, but I switched and went with Dan. So all my passport and everything was in a different safe that wasn't my name.
Yeah.
And also in that room there was a fella from the Isle of Man that wasn't supposed to be there in a blow-up bed.
A legal immigrant.
A legal immigrant.
A legal immigrant rider?
Yeah. No, not a rider.
He wasn't a rider.
So we got up there and as the hotel manager opened the door, I just yelled out, "Stay down, the police are here." Like. And while they were looking through the safe room, all they wanted was you got a bit of paper when you arrived in Macau for identification. And it says on it you have to carry it on you at all times. Like, that's what we got arrested for.
Got that. Something as small as that then?
As small as that. We couldn't prove who we were.
Right.
And it was straight bang into the police car. Like. But I remember him hooking through the safe, and I'm looking down here, and I can see the fella's feet.
Proper cuff?
I can see the boy's feet on the blow-up bed. Like.
Was he awake? Like,
he was awake, yeah.
Him
lying there just perfectly still, like.
Sweating.
and see, as soon as I seen the bit of paper, took the handcuffs off me, and then took the other fella to his room. Like.
Fucking hell.
But here they were strict, like.
No fucking about.
Jesus.
They got locked up in Bangkok, and like, I can just go.
Yeah, I just
for nothing, like, yeah. And it was scary, because there was no English speaking. It was just aggressive, like.
And did you ever go to Macau after?
No, that was it.
No, that was the one and only time.
Yeah.
Would you go back, or was that like?
It's not a place I would put my name down to go back.
No.
You know, like if
I
was
wouldn't be overly keen if you got arrested the first time you went somewhere, like yourself. Like.
Just the whole thing. It's obviously if I was with a team and they were going, I'd have to go.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be volunteering going. Yeah.
I want to go. I need to go now.
I'd rather go to Portugal and watch Grand Prix. Like.
Yeah.
You're right.
You know, it's just a different world. Like.
What was the food like?
Shite.
Yeah. Shite. Was it actually like
McDonald's?
Was it?
We all lived in McDonald's. Like.
Oh, really?
It was poor. Like.
Was there like street food and all that, or like chicken legs? And
not
dog eyes and stuff.
There was none of that because it's completely clean. The whole place is this clean sort of area, like. But when you're into hotels, that now probably then I was a bit naive. Now I might chance a wee bit more of the food, like. But to me, looking at it all, I just went, no, not for me. That like McDonald's, McDonald's, like.
Flipping heck.
Not ideal spot, man.
So. After Macau, then you stuck with Dan Neen.
After Macau, we came home from Macau, and Tim had a break in the racing. Tim stopped racing, and actually just on the Macau race, we arrived to the race to start the race, and the clutch gasket was leaking on the bike.
Right.
And this is a memory that Dan sort of stuck by him. We pushed the bike. We knew we had sort of 8 minutes or whatever it was like, but we didn't realise that to get off the pit lane, we couldn't just go through a wee entrance like. So we started running with the bike.
Right to the bottom.
To the first corner, last corner, and then in the pit lane, and this 40 degrees humidity, it was insane. Like. But then we've got it done, and I think they went off to do their sighting lap maybe, but he got off with them, you know, when they were going off the line. Like. But I remember him driving up to go to go out, and there was this fastener in my hand, because of complete panic.
Yeah.
Obviously, super bike sitting full warm, complete panic, like, and I ran and sort of slide tackled in, moved his foot and put it into it. And he remembers that. He just looked down and I'm lying there. I'm lying there just going like this, like, you know, with the t-shirt off, sweating. So came home from that, and then Tim decided to take a break, and Dan phoned me maybe a month later and said he's trying to put this thing together. Danny Tomlinson then approached him I didn't know any of these people, like, approached him to supply a bike or what have you, like. And then the early part of that next year, this BMW arrived from my garage, a wee garden shed, like, and that's we sort of
you turned it around into a race bike.
From a road bike, just built it from the ground.
No, I think it was I can't remember whose bike it was. There wasn't but there was a bit of road gear on it. We pulled off and you know decked the bike with, like, but that's when we turned it around, and then we done the Kirk's Easter Monday, Easter Saturday. There's no one we done down here somewhere. Modelo before the Northwest.
Right.
I remember. Like, it was really quick at the start of that year as well. Whatever happened to him, like,
quick. And the thing when we had that bike, the Owens suspension, K-Tech or Owens possibly. We never changed it. You know, we changed springs and changed clickers, but we never like changed the geometry of the bike. And that's something I even take forward to today, like, as I don't mess about, you know, I don't have a setting for this track as such. Gear and an idea, right? Maybe a bit softer, a bit harder. Like. Yeah. But a lot of people go to each track and go, the bike needs to be like this, needs to be like this, needs to be like this, needs to be like this. You know, this proves it, like, he rode that same bike in Kyrgyzstan, Bishopscourt, Modelo, Northwest, TT, with very little changes to geometry. Like,
you had your base set, and you
had the geometry base set, like, and that's every time he got onto it, it was like sitting on this.
Mm-hmm.
He knew exactly how far he could push that.
Yeah, you weren't reinventing the wheel every weekend.
Never.
And you weren't bounce onto a bike that you weren't familiar with. You had that familiar feeling, even though it might not be 100% at the time. It's still familiar, which is a lot better.
Yeah, which you'll push to the edge rather than if you get onto something that's not fronty, and the next thing you get onto it and you're, oh, what was that like?
Yes,
you back off completely.
Yeah, that's very true actually, because if you come in, like say you do a few laps in qualifying, come in, make a few tweaks, see when you go back out, the bike feels completely. Well, I always felt the bike.
You have to remember as well, like a bike, if you have a decent enough base setting, a bike's not going to change. There's nothing you're going to do to that bike until you're within half a second of where you should be, or a second.
You know what I mean?
Go
for a second. Like.
Before that, it's down to you.
Yeah.
So as long as you have that good kind of base setting, whatever you're going to go and quickly do in the pit lane is very minimal.
Mm-hmm. You have to be pushing that bike to the absolute limit
well,
before you can make any changes. Like.
Yeah, a second is roughly what you're looking at. Like, if you're a second and a half or 2 seconds off, like that's not on the bike.
No, you have
unless
to look
the bike's
within, like
folding in below you, like but it's generally not the bike, like.
Which is hard to hear. Well, obviously from my rider point of view, because obviously all riders have a fucking ego and they think everything's wrong with everyone else.
Problem.
Like, no, it's never my problem. There's something wrong with that bike. But
there's a hinge in the middle.
It takes a long time until you realise, that's the issue half the time. But once you get that into your head, you tend to go better anyway, like because you're looking obviously within all the time and you're trying to look better within yourself for the bike.
You just need to get the finger out.
So you obviously had a good base set and you were hitting the ground running that year. Like, that would have been 2017.
That was 2017. Went to Modelo the week before the Northwest. And he missed a gear coming out of the country, and a boy hit the back and he took the edges, broke his fingers, I think he did break his fingers on the clutch side, and completely destroyed the bike, like absolutely destroyed it.
And this was the
Saturday before the Northwest started on the Tuesday,
right?
And
he missed the previous year as well.
He missed the previous year, yeah. So we arrived at the Northwest with a bike and bits. Well, actually a bike that there's a photograph somewhere of Leanne with a 8-foot bit of scaffolding bar outside my garage, holding it to try and straighten the subframe, and my mate Tig welding it. Because we had Mervyn is strict, like, as you know, like Mervyn runs a tight ship, like, and we had to be in the paddock by a certain time. And so it was basically whatever we could get gathered up, it just took bits, no forks or anything in the bag, like just took bits up. Arrived at the Northwest paddock, and he had to go and do his media things and different things and sign on that, like. And I lay out the back of Mick O'Sweeney's awning in the piss and rain, like. And we begged and borrowed every BMW rider in the thing, like, until we got something together to go and ride on, like.
That's sick.
But you got out and going, you got
out
on the
and
grid.
going, yeah, nothing special.
Yeah.
Nothing. He was carrying that injury, and I say it wasn't that momentum that we built was just.
I was shunted there, like.
It was just shunted there,
yeah.
Like.
Well, at least you've got to run up, because obviously, imagine being a Manx man himself, the TT was always his priority.
The TT was his priority from every breakfast he had.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's something I've never seen in a rider ever. Like, all this talk, we went to Kyrgyzstan on Easter Monday and Modelo. Every change we done or anything we done, where's that going to help me in TT? Is that going to help me in TT?
Right.
There was...
No matter where he was.
No matter where he was or what he was on, or even cycling the bike.
Yeah.
That'll help me push on there a bit. It was just TT.
That's where he got all his drive from.
All his drive was that TT, like. Yeah. Right. Which, again, I've never seen in a rider since. It's just that had much determination for the event.
Going over. What did you think of the TT?
Mad.
As a crew chief, as a mechanic.
Yeah, it's
nerve-wracking.
It's nerve-wracking. It's nerve-wracking because there's no mistakes. Like, there's like very, very rare do you get away with a mistake. Like, how simple it is. Like, it was nerve-wracking, but it's also a weird family feel to the TT as well. Like, it's not the same. The Northwest, everybody's cutting each other up. But the TT is very much a more.
Would this been your first TT?
First ever TT.
First ever TT coming in Downeen with the BMW then?
Yeah, the BMW, yeah.
Right.
First ever TT.
Yeah.
And we arrived in his dad's plumber's van, pushing the copper pipe out of the way, like.
Right.
And Pens, he was riding the big bike for Pens.
Yes.
They let us sit in the corner.
Czech team?
The German team.
German team, sorry.
They let us sit in the corner there only, like. And again, see from the first off and that, like, again, sitting on a sofa, just quickly.
Yeah.
Just quick. I know that we sort of knew that year that the stock bike was going to be his bike for it. Like, that was going to be his focus. Like, the Pens bike was a good bike, but they were flirting about with electronic suspension and different things, and you know, it wasn't sort of, it had no testing on it really, done a wee bit, but enough. We knew the stalker was going to be the one to focus on. Like,
that would have been the time they had the GPS on all the BMWs, didn't they? And
they had the suspension was
learned the
changing.
track.
Especially there's not a story about that. Like. But our stalker, just instantly quick. Like, and I know people don't focus on, maybe they focus on their problem bike during practice, but he topped every stock session, you know, got coming up to race day. Like, the Superbike wasn't so good, like, because he said the suspension was good, but it wasn't good. He needed to know that the bike was going to hit the same.
He's going to be consistent
every time. Like, he said bits of it were better, but it was so it wasn't inconsistent because it was learning it as well, and it was learning where it was, and it was adapting. So if it gave a big thump here, the next lap it might have not thumped. And he maybe needed that thump to feel right. That's where it turned in, or
right enough.
So
a lot of the riders were given.
So he didn't want to ride it, and he was being forced to ride it. So the day of the race, like, we waited till the Germans went for lunch and pulled the suspension off it and put our suspension.
Is that right?
And the guy that won it knew it was happening, like.
Brilliant.
Yeah, he knew it was happening, like, and well, it was out of Dan said, "Refuse, you're not riding it." You know, I'm not. And he wasn't the sort of guy just to ride, wave at the crowd, like, you know, down Bray Hill and going for it, like.
Would I be right in saying, is that the year, did you get a super stock podium?
In the third,
and that would have been Dan's first podium.
Dan's first ever podium.
I'm sure that was obviously momentous for him, like.
Serious, serious. And how the route it took to get there.
Yeah.
You know, the amount of TTs he's done and bikes he's rode and everything else to get there.
And even the year he missed as well, remember, as well, like, so it was obviously.
But it felt, I'm sure he would say different, like, but it felt easy. You know, because the bike was good, everything was comfortable, everything was.
He had the right people behind him.
Yeah, just the whole momentum felt perfect, you know.
That's a weird dynamic you have sometimes, Race. I'm sure you had it as well with the kind of Team 109 stuff. And the other bit you had where when everything is going right, sometimes it does feel easy. It's a weird, but then there's times that you could be riding harder than you've ever had, or just and it just doesn't click. Yeah, it just
doesn't work. Like. But here, that's
that's more
I can vouch for that in every season I've been involved as a crew chief. Like, you know, there's seasons where you're pulling your hair out. You're turning every tool you have over upside down, trying to figure it out. Like, and then you've a season like we had this year, and it was just all the work was the same, the input was the same, but it was just that tiny wee bit, not easier, but it just as you're saying, it just clicked. Everything just sort of. Once the ball started rolling, it wouldn't stop rolling.
It's like you near have to take a step back and you analyse it, and then just once you're comfortable with it.
Yeah, well, there's years there that we spent, but I spent banging my head off the wall, like, to the point where I'm questioning myself. You know, going, what am I doing here? I can't solve this.
You're doubting yourself now.
Yeah.
And see, was your first experience obviously working with a rider at the TT, was it what you imagined beforehand? Was it different? Was it
was
better or worse?
It's hard to answer that because I built up such a friendship with Dan.
Yes.
Because he came and stayed at my family home. I stayed in the Isle of Man.
Yeah.
You know, it was different.
You didn't really see him as your rider. You seen him as your brother. Like.
Yeah. You know, it was very much, you know, he tried to get me to train with him, but I couldn't train. Like. So I bought a bike, I bought a push bike and said I'll cycle to the pub.
Yeah.
So I cycled to the pub and had a few pints and waited for him to come back and then cycle back again.
Brilliant.
You know, it was a different relationship. And probably from the relationship with Dan, I'll probably never get as close again to a rider.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, because it's very much a
hard lesson learned.
It's a hard lesson learned. The rider to me is a tool. You know, especially now, like when Paul Toby gives me every asset he has, like I have to use them tools, including the rider, to get the best out of it. And probably from that, you maybe would, if it had been the same situation now, you maybe would have leaned towards the rider a bit. Where there's times you have to pull the rider to the side. You don't say it's you, like.
Yeah, I have to just be pure black and white.
Yeah, so I don't really know that the answer to that coming to TT with somebody different, how it would feel.
Yes.
It probably would be completely different, like.
So you obviously will go on to the next year as well, where you went with Dan to Taz.
Went to Dan with Taz, yeah.
Yes, so it's a Tyco BMW.
He got Hutchie got injured on the mountain that year. And then he got the opportunity to ride it at the Ulster.
That's right.
Yes,
and he rode. He wanted to ride our Clogher, but Philip said, "Well, it's all contracts now. When you go into that, like it's all," and he had to ride there.
That's all
right.
Clogher, which is the same bike, but it's not.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
Like if you go on as Kawasaki, it's definitely different. Like so, he had to ride it, and he didn't really win the Superbike race. Him and Dean Harrison clashed up. Dean Harrison D1'd him on the Herb.
At the Herb, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Did you be in that race?
I was in that race. Yeah.
He was in among it.
I was in fucking Group C or D somewhere. I remember watching it on TV. It was good enough.
But see here, he was instantly there, like.
Yes.
Yeah,
and that was enough to get him right for the following year. Yeah.
But it's funny with Dan. He never overrode a bike. Like, you know, he liked the bike loose. You know, he liked Colonials 1 and 2. He loved putting the full lock on it when he was changing direction and look aggressive, like, you know, like you and that Superbike, that black Superbike.
When was that?
Every time you come out of Colonials, you're just
right enough. You're
I do remember. That's coming back now. Actually, that black bike.
That's right. Gareth didn't know how to put anything on a straight line, like.
Yeah,
that did have a hinge.
Yeah. I do remember standing there with my dad, like, standing going, he's going to get a cropper here. Like, every time she just got loose the whole way to fishing was like.
I do like a loose bike. I like a bike moving.
That was loose.
No, I was loose.
That was bucking and weaving the whole way.
Side to back, like.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
I do remember standing watching that, like.
That's why I like riding 350 too. Because it bucks and weaves and twists.
Yeah.
See the
Have you ever rode a straight motorbike?
Probably not. Yeah. I rode a
makes some difference when you
rode a
go
bent
forward.
With
all this stuff. How do you train then? Do you just dance on like a treadmill or something?
That's the way that was going to that. I can picture that now. Stand there. Like, I was at Colonial 1 looking down to fish. Like, and every lap that was bucking and weaving below you. Like.
It wasn't that bad, like, was it?
It was like doing 2 races in one. The energy level.
That's why I was standing there, anyway.
Have you ever seen me getting off a bike, getting my helmet off?
No, normally seen you. Normally never really finished your race, did you?
I did.
Right,
cheeky shit. I won a Superbike championship.
Did you?
Yeah. Many Superbike championships have you won?
Not many. Not many, but anyway. I'll fucking talk about this after.
Yeah.
But, so we're on to Dan, obviously, Tyco BMW at the Ulster, really good showing. Then on to 2018, this would have been then.
On to 2018, so he was signed as a road rider.
Yes.
But he pushed because he wanted to do the British.
The Superstock.
Because Dan actually was a circuit rider. And he went to the roads then. You know, he was a, I'm not sure if he won titles, maybe I should know, like, I'm not sure. But he was a front runner in the stock championships, like, in Britain. So the arrangement was to do the first couple, possibly. I can't just the ins and outs of it, but we went to Donington, I think, with Keith Farmer.
Yes.
So there was Michael Laverty, Christian Eden, I think, was in the team. Farmer and Dan all going for that, well, the Superbikes and Superstock. Like. And I remember qualifying, last lap, checkered flag was out, and Dan was 5th or 6th somewhere in the grid. And he went purple, and coming on the last sector, like, he had maybe 0.2 up.
Yeah.
And he came round the left-hander and tucked the front or hit the curb, like, and bucked it in against the barrier and everything. And I remember walking down the pit lane, and he's walking up towards me, laughing in his helmet. You know, because it was effortless, that's what I'm saying. He never was one to sort of ever looked like he was overriding beyond his limit, like.
Yeah.
And he was going purple. And I think he actually touched the curb on the left-hander coming onto the start kid.
Yes.
Like. But he was laughing sort of out of the fact of how
comfortable
that felt, like, you know.
Brilliant.
It was a good race in there, and then went to the Northwest. Was fantastic, like. Absolutely fantastic. The stock race again, he clashed with Dean Harrison again, got into one of the last chicanes, and if he had just braked, he let the brakes off basically. Dean tried him or something. He ended up running on and losing it, like. But that year, which was 2018, he was the fastest rider on the coast, really. He just had it mastered, like. And we were watching on the commentary, Stephen Phillip kept calling him. He kept thinking it was silly because of the same red helmet.
That's
on the top.
right.
But it was Dan.
I remember that because Dan was in the leading group. Like, it was a real switch.
Yeah.
Well, just from the outside looking in, if you know what I mean, because obviously there was 2 Tyco bikes, and Tyco hadn't had that in a long time. Like,
that shows you. Like, I remember looking at the sector times. Because I would have always looked at my own sector times with the coast road. I was always a lot quicker. And for me, not for anyone else. I wasn't quicker than anyone else. But
you're quicker than yourself.
I was quicker than myself.
That's a good start.
It is. So I remember seeing Don's sector times through the coast road. Yeah. Because that's where I would have looked at their times and my times. Yeah. How far down I was. And he was the quickest through there every single.
Yeah, well, I never looked at times.
That's like BSB. That's what that's.
Yeah, the short
being there,
stuff,
BSB short circuit stuff. Yeah,
and he had a massive advantage there, like massive advantage along the coast, like.
And that's why obviously he wanted to stay in BSB.
He wanted to keep that sharp.
Well, they obviously known it's not unheard of that, you know, every kind of road racer wants to do some sort of pass safe short circuit because it keeps their hand and keeps them sharp for doing what they're doing, like. And it was more common. Obviously, you have your David Todds and Peter Hickmans and stuff brought that on, like. So that obviously a fantastic Northwest. How did you podium it? Did you, or you were definitely in the hunt for it anyway, weren't you?
I don't think he podiumed the Northwest. No, I don't think it.
But you're still in good form and good steam.
Oh, good form. The Superbike was a bit lively and a bit he just hadn't really gelled with it like the stock bike, like. But no, I don't think he podiumed that Northwest. But he was in the hunt for it, like.
Yeah.
You know, he definitely was.
But considering probably the people he was racing against, there's probably a couple you could have took out of it anyway, going into the TT, if you know what I mean, weren't going to be there. So I was obviously giving you good motivation, good steam for going. Oh,
the motivation was high in the TT, very high, like. And again, his form was just. He wasn't cocky in anything, like, but he was confident in himself, like, you know, he was confident when he had what he had to do, like.
Well, you have to be, don't you, if you're going to a race meeting?
If you're wanting to go in for race wins, like, you have to have faith in yourself, you have confidence in yourself.
Or you're wasting
probably
your time.
At its all-time high for Dan.
Oh, it was, yeah. He definitely was at a peak of fitness as well.
Yeah.
Because he had been trailed by injuries even before I met him. You know, he had big injuries type of thing, like. So he probably was in his sort of prime of fitness and everything, like.
Yeah.
Well, that's what, obviously. Well, you were saying you weren't much of a help with his fitness side of things.
No,
like, but,
not at all. Like, I ate everything he didn't eat in the plate. It wasn't much, mind you. He put some feeds into him. Like,
is that right?
But he would have went and cycled 100 miles and stuff like.
Yeah, just burning it off.
Yeah. You sitting in the saltwater brig.
I mean, the brig. That's exactly where I cycled to. Like.
But the mental side of things, obviously he felt comfortable.
Oh, comfortable, yeah.
And you on the bike, were you working solely on the bikes, or?
Oh no, there was two bikes. There was Denver and can't remember who Lee Stewart was, sort of this electronics fella. But there would have been, like, every time the bike went up, there was 4 mechanics sort of with it all the time, like.
Right.
But full of confidence, you know, full of, like, that tag was a great team, like. A great team, and it is road racing.
Your role at that time would have been mechanicking? You wouldn't have been pure out and out crew chief at that stage, it was mechanicking?
Just the only thing I was doing with him through that there was sort of sitting in the background with him at night time, going through his notes. And any session that he done, because me and him done it the year before ourselves, I used to record him, you know, so when he came in, record him straight away. And even still to this day, working with riders, that's the most vital information for me, is when they're completely buzzed up, you know, and they're not getting time to think about it and think, oh, well, he was quicker than me there, so maybe my bike's the problem here.
Yes.
You're getting the raw.
You can't get the excuses.
Yeah, you're getting the raw emotion, like, off of what they need the bike to do, like. So we were doing a bit of that, obviously, for ourselves and for his own notes, taking different notes and different braking markers around the track and stuff, like. But that was just mechanic for him, like.
Yeah.
And tell me this, how did you get so many grid passes for the Northwest? See, if you look at the Northwest 200, it was just, like, the whole paddock jokes about this. I don't know whether you knew this.
I didn't know this now.
Yeah, like, say if someone has, like, you're allowed 2 grid passes or something per rider.
Yeah.
And if someone gets 3 or 4, another rider would walk past, go, who do you think you are, fucking Tycho?
Well, here, that Northwest you're talking about, we were in McGuinness's camper van, and he must have 20 hanging in the wing mirror.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I've heard a story where passes come from, but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
We used to copy
incriminate
them.
anyone here.
Yeah, we used to paint over. We used to copy them, or.
Oh, yeah, a lot of that going on.
My mother-in-law, actually, I'm sinking her here, but she used to keep all the passes throughout the years, and every now and again, especially the Ulster Grand Prix, you would have got like a dark blue one, and then the next year was purple, and she was like, that's close enough.
Yeah.
And just wrap that up, like.
You should be ashamed of yourselves, guys.
It's nothing to do with me, like.
Yeah.
And they're grid passes, so you don't have to pay for it.
So, obviously, as a lot of people know, Isle of Man 2018 was when you unfortunately lost Dan then.
Yeah.
I'm sure that wasn't great at the time, and it probably impacted you.
Well, definitely did.
Yeah.
Definitely did. Second night of practice. The first night of practice was his quickest ever lap in the Isle of Man.
Yeah.
And when I keep saying this about not the overriding thing, it was that effortless to him. He didn't believe it. You know, he couldn't believe that he had done that time and not sort of been out of the seat or moments or anything. Like, you know, it was just coming natural to him. Like, but no, the accident the second night sort of big impact for me.
Yeah. I'm sure it was. That knocked you for the next season then, or?
It knocked me, as well as doing with Tycho, I was going with Ever-Equip Racing in the British 600s.
Right, okay.
The big Andy Jameson that was the crew chief from our train rang me to see if I could do some of the British are in and out the British.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who was your riders then?
James Rispoli and Bjorn
Estimate. Right,
Yeah.
very good.
So that I was doing that for the season. It did impact me a lot because I had no motivation whatsoever.
After,
It was just if my balloon had burst, because it was so close with Dan. That was the sort of drive.
It took a wind out of your sails a bit, did
definitely, it? Yeah, definitely.
it? Yeah.
So finished the year, and then that was a good year with Everquip. It was a good team, a nice English sort of environment of, the owners just wanted to drink all weekend and they were happy in the campsite, and left us do
just a bunch of lads going racing.
But it sort of brought me, Andy Jameson was my first ever crew chief to work for,
right,
and to watch him. And I do even remember the Southern with Dan and Andy. I was always sort of in the background watching what Andy was doing, why he was changing it, and maybe pissed him off sometimes with questions.
Right, okay.
At times, because wanting to know.
But this was all gathering.
It was all gathering, yeah. And it's part of sort of, when I raced, Clarence Bell set up my suspension at the start of the year, and nobody touched it.
Right.
If you're watching the
you're
bike,
frightened of it, probably.
What's that?
Yeah.
That's set, And it's funny now, just thinking back now, Fisherman's and the Herman at Bishop's Court, I can remember it very clearly, the bike just going in, braking, letting the brake off, and the bike just reeling. And me going, well, that's as fast as you can go around here. Like, where I know now, I could have made the bike turn back the track on itself. Like,
Right.
How silly it is that you sort of, you don't know them things when you're learning to race.
No, I bet you had annoys you. I bet you had
every day. Going into the Herman at Kirguson, braking too hard and it going around feeling as if it's going around the yoke.
Yeah.
You feel like you're on the
seconds
limit.
Seconds me now, knowing that the 2 clicks and that was sorted and you're getting harder. Like,
That's, oh, fuck.
That's like a real conception that, like, people think that someone has a certain setting. There's a magical setting that you put into it, and then that's all your problems fixed.
Yeah.
Everything.
Well, the same as what we were talking about earlier with the same setting for this track, that track. It's not.
No, it's not.
No, like I can't take you to a track and say, "Here, Gareth, there's Gareth's settings."
No.
I done a 2-minute lap down here.
No,
why aren't you doing it?
But it's funny how a lot of people believe that still to this day. Like,
a lot of teams as well.
A lot of teams. Why did it work for such and such and it doesn't work for you?
Yeah, I rode for a team and they told me, well, if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for you. I'm like, right, okay, whatever you think. No, that didn't work.
We can go testing on Wednesday and go racing on Saturday and the bike completely different.
Yeah.
And that completely rules that out, that then people think that there's a setting for that track because 2 degrees of track temperature, 2 mile an hour wind change, whether the rider had Weetabix or he felt like it was girlfriend the night before. There's so many variables to each day. It's completely different. Like you can take gearing. That's the first thing you take is gearing. Like, and maybe a spring if you know it's sort of downhill braking or sort of lots of angled corners for your braking, you could maybe take that from one to the other. But generally speaking, like there's no magic.
No, there's no magic
number. Like, that worked for you last year. Here it is.
Just concentrating on the different settings. Do you ever use? You use a lot of the laptop on the machines, do you, or do you rely more on what the riders tell them?
I'm different because I don't believe that number should be there and that's where you're going to get the perfect performance. Like, I'm sort of
off the computer,
like, because there is no magic numbers. There's guidelines and areas where once you get a bike, even a new bike, after a few days with it, you get to know, right, well, you like that feeling there, but didn't like the feeling there, this in the rear, that in the front, and you can build a sort of guideline thing off. I know where it feels good, but then you have to also look, does it turn good? Does it brake good? It's not always about numbers, like. So like a lot of the times when a rider comes to sit with me, I'll turn the laptop away because a lot of riders now are quite focused on data, which I don't like.
No,
data should only be like, obviously my brother's big into this data logging and he's obviously an electronics man, but data should only be a backup or evidence to a rider's input. You know what I mean? Or a rider's feeling on the motorbike. You should only use it as your backup. As such, for you're saying, a lot of people rely on just numbers and graphs and stuff, and you could have the best data in the world. There could be a nice linear, down on the stroke, nice, beautiful, brake release and all, but you'll be doing 3 seconds a lap slower, if you know what I mean. Yeah. But your data looks fantastic. So as you say, there you can use it to your advantage, but you can't rely on it.
No, I tend to lean on I use everything that's available to me, like, but I tend to take the rider's feedback first. If I get the chance to look at the data before I speak to the rider, I can have a sort of an idea of what he's going to say or what looks bad, or what looks like too much curb here, and you can sort of build a picture first, like. But I'd rather have his raw input, you know, and then look at it on the map first of all to see what areas I'm going to try
to see
and
if he's
change
talking shit or not.
And then, I don't really. well, there's sometimes you have to, yeah. And I had a funny. I don't know if you know a fella, Patrick Deegan. He used to run the team that Mark Johnson rode for.
Yeah,
EMD.
Yeah.
So he's a team member of 109.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, like, this will go to my grave, like. So there was having problems with a rider blaming me.
Right.
Everything I done was nothing to do with him, nothing to do with the bike, nothing to do with any other factor, like, you know. And Paddy pulled me to the side at one of the tracks, and me and Paddy the best of friends, like. And he pulled me to the track and he says, "You're going to need to do something here because it's looking bad here and your job's on the line." And walked away from me. Like, Paddy's a jokester and a real lovely, real gentleman, like. But that stuck with me that whole night, like, you know, going, right, like, this is, if this is the route I want to do,
you're going to have to make an impact here.
I'm going to have to make an impact, like.
And you knew there was an issue?
I knew there was an issue, and the issue was the rider. And it turned out the next day the rider was standing in tears, like, and his man wanting to kill me.
Right.
But I had to go to that extreme, you know.
To save yourself. Save your skin.
Not save myself, but I do my job.
Yeah.
You know, suppose because I was pussyfooting around it a wee bit, you know, and sort of not trying to make excuses for him because I still have to answer to my boss, like, you know, but that'll stick with me forever, like that.
Yeah.
So and he was joking, but he was also watching it from the outside. Like, you know, going like, right, you're going to need to stand up here and put this straight, like.
So nobody said anything to him. He's seen this happening.
Paddy does tires, but he also sees everything. Yeah. You know, he's everywhere.
He's a floater.
He's a floater, yeah.
He is a floater.
Lots of names for him. That's a nice name for him. Like. But he's a fantastic guy to have in any team because he's just he's done it. He's ran a team. He's ran riders. He's built bikes. He's financed. You know, he knows how to run the thing, and he's great to have just lingered about because I can't see everything that's happening. Yeah. You know, I trust the mechanics, everything else, but you can't see everything that's happening. Where he's a great guy just to be floating around the whole area, like. But no, that's something he witnessed, like that you know, he probably witnessed my reaction maybe when the rider left and stuff, like. And that was his way of basically kicking me up the hole and saying,
I have to
do something here.
Yeah, and that probably has changed my actual mindset, like, on crew chief, like, is like, this is your job, this is what you're doing, stand by your decisions, like.
Yeah. So we got sidetracked a wee bit, but it's brilliant. That's what we want from this podcast. I mean, there's no real. We try to get a bit of a timeline, but it never really goes to plan. So we were going basically TT 2018. Obviously, what happened with Dan, and you were with Evercrook. Was that the end of road racing for you? Did that put it to bed?
That was the end of road racing for me, and I would say it nearly finished me racing altogether, or involved in racing altogether. Because I had no heart whatsoever in going near it, like. Yeah. I'm not saying I'll never go back road racing, but it would take
a lot.
It would take a lot, like, you know, because you know what. Here, the risks in the short circuits. You know, that nobody rides a bike now and doesn't think there's a risk involved in it. But I think for me, I've done that chapter, you know, and the world thing. I'd say when I was doing the just to jump forward, I suppose, like, when I was doing the thing we ever equipped, I was obviously going doing my job properly, what have you, like. But I had that drive to sort of get the airport and get going and get involved in it. Like, it didn't really come. It was a job, yeah. Yeah, it was just. And I always say, especially around bikes, if it doesn't feel like a job, you shouldn't be there because it's not a job. Yeah, no, it's not a 9 to 5. Like, it's not fitting these things here 9 to 5. Like, it is somebody's life you're playing with. It's some, you know, it's a passion as well. Like. Yeah. But whenever Paul Tobin rang me, and fast forward in a year, like, whenever he rang me with this world sort of thing, like, you fancy it. I said no, first of all. It's like, no, can't be ours. Like, no. You know? Right. Can't be ours. Just, I didn't want anything to do with it. Anything to do with the racing. Like. And then when I thought about it, I said, you know, that might be. Because it's complete. The only thing I ever seen was Johnny winning. Yeah. You know, I never watched 600, didn't know what tracks they went to, didn't really follow it.
That's crazy. To be honest with you, like, that you agreed to step up and do something quite important in a very important championship, and you didn't have a clue what you're signing up for. Like.
I'll give you a bigger laugh. Paul brought a bike down to me at the same wee garage like down, and he left it, had a cup of tea and a chat and everything else, like, just to prepare it before going away testing, like we did. And he went away, and I honestly thought the 300s was just kids having a crack around the circuits, like.
Well, like around car tracks?
On road bikes, like.
Seriously?
Honestly.
Just like with L plates on though.
Honestly, yeah.
I can just imagine you sitting and go, what is World Supersport 300? And sitting having a look and all like
That happened.
that happened.
Brilliant.
But it's
YouTube.
quite
And
nice to
bike-
see that you're so green to it, but you're still, wanting to try something different. Like, if you know what I mean?
This bike arrived down with 2D on it and potentiometers and like 2D, like a real
Yeah.
kit, like. And I was like, I honestly thought these were road bikes with the lights off, and I just let the
Class.
young ones go on.
Let the go bucked
And
off.
that would have been 2020 then.
That was 2019. This is the winter of 2019.
Yeah,
2020.
winter 2019, the spring over.
So were they ever equip? Finished with ever equip, and then Alex Olsen. We done
that's
a
right.
bit with Alex Olsen.
Mm-hmm.
Same again. Bike brought over into this little shed in Clogher. We fitted about with it, done the carcass and different things. Alex is a good fella, like real good rider,
Yeah,
like
he's a
strong
real nice
rider.
guy, like.
He's always a rider that I think would do well at the Northwest.
Yeah.
He's just that he loves the fast stuff, like.
Yeah.
And
He
he's,
was always very quick around Stockton, I remember.
and he's so smooth, like.
Yeah.
Again, he's never misses an apex or he's bucking and weaving. He's just he's a Northwest man, like. And he did have interest in it at the time, like. But sure, things changed.
Yeah.
And it didn't materialise, like. But
you're quite successful at that as well. You've got podiums and wins and stuff as well. Like,
we got a friend of mine that's a good friend of mine, like a friend of the family, Joe Everquip. His name isn't Joe Everquip, Joe Bolton, mechanic in England. I rang him whenever I built the bike for Olsen, and then we took it over to Donington to do a no limits day or something like. And Joe was a tire technician for Everquip, never a mechanic, never got the opportunity to mechanic. So I got very friendly with him, spoke to him and says, there's an opportunity here for you to mechanic, like you'll be the only mechanic, I'll be there and helping you, like you're solely mechanic, like. And he says, that's fine. He says, but I want my hands on the bike. Yeah. And I said, no problem, we're going to Donington, you'll have a bit of crack around it, you can strip it and do whatever you want, like. So the first session, Alex dumped it in craners.
right.
Destroyed it. Nothing, absolutely nothing.
No bike to put the hands on.
You started sweating.
So I rang him and he says, oh, how you getting on? I says, well, you're in for a good job, like, because we're lifting the frame out of the van. And we'll wait till you get here and you can build it, like. Then you'll
Class.
know. But yeah, we done the endurance race things. Remember the two race things that Stuart
Yes,
Higgs
that's
done?
right. They done like a back-to-back thing in
So
stock.
we won at Silverstone. I think it was just a straight race at Silverstone. I did win a straight race at Silverstone. And that was against Cooper and Billy McConnell. It was a tough race. Like, it still is a tough race. That stock class is ridiculous. We won there. We won one endurance race at our podium. Had a good year, like. A good start of the year. And then he got that opportunity to go with Smith.
That's right.
When
the Cardwell.
And who did somebody get injured out of Smith?
Could have been Lee Jackson or something.
No, it was Hickman. And Hickman was there. Hickman was the other rider.
Was it Jakob Smerts?
Oh no, it wasn't Jakob. He was older than that, like. He's an old man, like.
Yeah.
Is he amazing? Like,
we'll have to fact check that. But I remember him standing in because he would have done Thursday at Cardwell.
He stood in for Smith, like. And then see, at that point, whenever the golf says with Alex, and you're never going to stand in the way this factory to Hickman's team. It's Smith's, like, it was Hickman's team, like. Yeah. And I was sort of, he wanted to be with them every round because with that connection, of a crew chief rider, you have that connection, like, and it was sort of maybe a familiar face in the garage. But I was going to him and absolutely no interest. That's when it really sort of, I was at the low point of going, that's it.
No more motorbikes.
No more motorbikes. Like, what's
he
the
just
point
plateaued with the whole, was it BSB?
I think it was just a whole lot.
Yeah.
And it's all the same people.
Yeah.
The road racing is an extended version of the British paddock, or a small version of it. It's all the same people, same faces, same crack, same, I think he just had enough of it, like, he just wanted a fresh, I just wanted away from it, like, yeah, just got fed up with it, like, fed up with beer.
The beer, too much beer.
Yeah.
So then, that's when Team 109, Paul Tobin.
Toby rang, some random wee man from Cork, like.
Yeah.
Did you ever meet him before? No?
I think I met him in a pub.
All right.
This just seems like a run occurrence.
There's an ongoing theme here.
Yeah. I think I met him in a pub, like.
For people who don't know, obviously Team 109 was set up as a remembrance to Sean Hurley, who ran obviously number 109. And that was like It was on a bucket list. It was a bucket list. Like,
I don't want to quote it because I'm not sure all the ins and outs. But it was he made a bucket list randomly before he died. Obviously you don't know when you're going to die. He made a bucket list, and one of them was to win a world championship, run a marathon. He had all these other things, like, and one of them was to run a team. Yeah. And Paul and Sean's father, David Hurley, started the 109 thing and they've helped a lot of young riders. Scott Swan, again, I don't know all the ins and outs of it, like, but they have been involved in young riders, and then they did win that championship of Union.
Yeah,
Super Teams or the
Junior Supersport.
Junior Supersport, yeah.
Junior Supersport.
Kevin Keys, I think he helped.
Kevin Keys, yeah.
That's right.
There was a few that they helped.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a weird sort of, it's not like Tycho's just always been there.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a bike, it is a nice thing to be involved in.
It's humble beginnings, if you know what I mean, or it started off in the right, cause, you know what I mean? Especially,
and I'm sure for Dave and Paul, it's incredible to be sitting now as world champions.
No, it's more credit to them, because
I'm sure they would never have thought of that coming about.
So, going back to kind of the start of the whole World Championship thing, you're green, you Googled what is World Supersport 300,
more or less,
and then you're on to playing. Union McGlinchey was your rider there, and this would have been 2020.
2020,
so it's COVID year.
Yeah, brilliant year to travel.
Year
to travel.
I know,
awesome.
Yeah,
just awesome. Nobody.
So, was it a smaller calendar that year, if I remember, or they maybe dropped around?
Could have been a smaller calendar.
Yeah.
But it was. We were green. And the Team 109 wasn't the Team 109 of the British. It was a completely new team. It was completely new people, new everything, except Paul, obviously. And Colin was one of the mechanics from down south. But it wasn't, the 109 that you've seen in Britain. It was a completely new package.
Right.
We arrived at the first round completely green, absolutely green. We were sharpening 1 mil drill bits to try and get the engine sealed.
Brilliant.
We're so green to the not green but it was
your first impressions of it what you thought it was going to be?
Yes and no. Whenever we were organising the truck and organising parts and toolboxes and everything, I kept saying to Paul, listen, these boys are going to be animals out here, it's World Championship, nobody's going to help you, they're going to laugh at you, look, they're not going to help you, so we had everything that we could possibly imagine into a truck, because we were based here, down south, everything we had. When we got there, they couldn't be more friendly, and it's more so the organisers. Everybody that's if you have a problem, you find a white shirt, World Paddock, basically they're the English speaker, and they'll get you to whoever you need to speak to, couldn't be more helpful. In fact, the amount that I think we brought something to the paddock, because we're not.
I will probably appreciated your effort getting there in the first place.
We were turning up, we had breakdown and turned up in 2 hire vans, one was refrigerated. We had some run with that stuff. But we weren't the sort of regiment factory, when you go in, there's a big presence.
You weren't pressed from the same mould as all these Italian and Spanish teams.
We still aren't. And I don't know the ins and outs of all the other teams that have won World Championships, but I think we're unique.
Yeah.
I would say so.
I
would say so.
We're definitely unique that night.
Yeah.
Did you go in with Kawasaki machinery then?
We remember the machinery that they were using, that Paul had.
Oh, right, from the British?
He had a British Junior Supersport team, and he had a British Superstock 600 effort as well. Because that's where Union came from. So Union came from the Junior Supersport.
Done a year ago on the 636, or the bigger bike, didn't they?
And then he bounced back.
You
I
raced
them,
yeah.
Me and Union done a fair bit of racing.
But I have this sounds terrible, being involved in bikes, but I don't really fully follow it. Does that make sense?
Fully follow motorbike racing in general?
Yeah. My wife, I met my wife 5 years ago, married 3 years, and she tells me everything that's going on. It's sort of, you focus on your own stuff. Even when I come home from the events, I used to think my dad was bad. I had to debrief with him when I came home, because he'd asked me, what did you do here? Why was he slow here?
This is crazy, right? So we have a world champion crew chief. It didn't have an engineering degree background. It's not like he came from a university. Don't even know if he really likes bikes to start off.
He doesn't
follow motorbike racing. Had a 5 EB that he thought the suspension was set on. Yeah. And now,
he doesn't
sitting in 2025, he's one of maybe most handful of world champion crew chiefs in this country.
And my wife
what tells
me the results and stuff
Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah.
Flipping out.
That's
brilliant.
That's something. Right,
weird,
so that's strange. That's different. But do you think that's helped you in kind of what you've done? Is that you're not too intense with it?
Probably has, because I couldn't tell you who finished in our races, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, until it came to the last one. I needed to look and sort of analyse. Right, well, I know we need, it's not my concern. The same with the super bikes and everything. I come home and friends, would say to me, "Oh, did you see something?" No. And I maybe was standing at the track watching it, but it's not my mind's not there. My mind's in what my job is, right until the last whistle.
Unlike this one here. Like he'll go home tonight, rock himself to sleep in the corner, watching
I am a real
1983
weirdo. I'm like
MotoGP
seeing
or
these
something.
anoraks. Like I probably know your results better than you know your results.
Probably,
you know what I mean? Like that's
yeah.
just. But it's just it's funny two ways to look about it. Like you're obviously probably more focused on what you do, and the rest you don't really care about. Like where there's people who are just solely indulged in the whole sport in itself, like, and want to know everything about it, and real like fucking anorak weirdos. Like, but it's funny to hear. Both sides.
We're
in
pole position in Barcelona, which is a fantastic track. All the tracks are fantastic Grand Prix tracks. Like.
Catalunya.
Barcelona, it just has that sort of stadium. Nearly like Roman stadium feel about it, right? Yeah. And we were standing there, P1, what have you, and took a picture and everything. Like. And one of the other guys in the team says, just stop and look around you. Like. If there's flares going off, there's a noise going on. I went, yeah, very good. Now, but what's the tire pressure?
Yeah.
you're so. Yeah. And yet the year before we were last in the grid. Mm-hmm. And same mentality, like. It doesn't. This is just a show, like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's for them and sitting watching the sofa or in the grandstand.
Yeah, that's not what we're there for. Like we're not there for. You're there for 5 days, but you're there for such a short period of time on track. Mm-hmm. You have to be fully focused on.
True.
So, see, since you were kind of obviously green towards Challenge, you didn't know what it was and all this stuff. So, when you first seen World Supersport 300 racing for the first time, whether it be the first round or you looked it up on YouTube and stuff, and you saw how like clean roofless it was, what was your impressions of that?
That's going to be good.
That's going to be hammer.
That's going to be good.
Raspy.
I remember.
Before he's brought a raspy operator with you to go for it. Like, Ewan's not afraid to get the elbows out. Like,
our like Ewan's a fantastic rider, and the way the format was really disadvantaged Ewan. Like,
okay.
Because they didn't have, for some reason, with no qualifying. Or we did have qualifying.
It was like a Q1 and Q2.
You had free practice 1 and 2, and the fastest 30 from them both went into qualifying.
Right.
But there was no technical checks after FP1 and FP2. And those boys doing lap times that never repeat it again.
Okay.
And we, like, that's the thing, I'll never cheat, like, and Paul Tobin's the same, like, and anybody I'm involved in, I'll not be involved in, because if something's cheating, now, I'm not saying there might, like, a tire pressure infringement or something like that, that's not, like, not be involved in cheating as in, things that fully cheating, like, not be involved in it. And Bluetooth helmet.
Yeah. Do you remember that rumour about the bike?
Well, rumour? That 5EV was quick, wasn't it?
Handle well.
But Ewan obviously was going to these tracks and never seen them before.
Yeah.
And he was only half a second off legitimately getting into the qualifying, where we had to run restrictor plates in it. And we had to run lower rev limits and stuff. But it wasn't till after it that sort of we looked, them boys weren't running restrictor plates. Their top speeds were 12 and 15 kilometres an hour quicker than they were all the rest of the weekend. Like, so it wasn't fair on him that he never got the chance to actually progress in it. Like, it was hard.
I remember it was a hard year for him because obviously he went back then to British Supersport with us, like obviously racing against each other again. Like, and you could see at the start it was like the unit that left the British Championship wasn't the same unit came back. If you know what I mean? It was obviously a very mentally challenged year. Like,
Jesus.
And to see, like, we're talking half a second, you watch it more than me, like, half
half
a second can take you 20 places down the grid.
Yeah.
And that's what he was fighting for on brand new tracks for 20 minutes, 20-minute sessions, like trying to, and us green as well. You know, sort of we learned quickly on the go as well. Like.
I remember watching the first race, the Supersport 300s, like, and I thought, like, I came in the living room and it was already on. I thought, happy days, I haven't missed anything. There was like 20 of them going for the win. Yeah. It was the last lap. I near shit.
Again, like, it genuinely does give me anxiety watching it. Like, it has that, it's even harder. It's hard to fathom. Like, I'm nearly glad that it's away. Like, to be honest with you, because you're sitting there. Like,
I am glad it's away. Because it's so...
it was nearly at the verge. It was, I'm not going to say it was dangerous, because any racing's dangerous, but there was dirty tactics about it. Like,
if you a thing that we sort of copped on with the last few years, it's always just like, there's riders 26-year-old, not like ex-champions, multiple champ. Jeffrey Buss is 3-time champion.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Well, they're not all.
It's not kids racing.
Benat was youngest rider in it this year. Maybe 2 of them. Sorry, at that age, like, my wife would tell you, maybe 3 of them. Yeah. There's only a couple of them. Like, the rest of them were 22 to 24 to 26. Right. And if you watch what we sort of learned was it's always the same names, but it was tactics. You know, they always seemed to bunch together at the end of qualify. We tried every different strategy we could in qualifying, like, and it doesn't matter. You might as well just do a lottery ticket, like, trying to go out with two people, out with one people. They all went up together in the last couple of laps of qualifying. Like, it's insane. Like, but where were we there now?
Well, right. So we're talking about obviously with Union was your debut into the World Championship with Team 109 and stuff. Then, it wasn't really a fantastic season for you.
No,
well,
I do feel for Union because he didn't get that chance to progress into it. Like, and it is a big commitment, money, family, everything. You know, and they're just that format that year. Why they changed it like that, I don't know. Like, didn't give anybody a fair chance. Any of the newcomers a fair chance. Like,
I think they only done that format for maybe a year, 1 year, and then they went back to normality. Like, so then going on then was 22, 23, 24 was still Kawasaki's with different riders. You had Danny Mahega, was it?
Danny Mahega,
and did you have young James McManus on the stage as well?
James McManus stepped in and out. I don't know if was it Union maybe got injured. I can't remember how James got out, but he was young, like.
Yeah.
But a good rider.
Still is a good rider.
And he has a good rider. And you see to come from, I think he was riding the super teams here, or not super teams.
The Supersport.
Jesus, you're going back.
Super teams.
Super teams come
1980 what?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
The 300s.
Yes.
It's all the 300s, like, here. And to go from that and how he approached going into the World, like, was brilliant. Like.
Yeah.
Brilliant. He did have a lot of potential. Like.
Was he sharp straight away, was he? Or in the World?
He was good and consistent and making progress through it. You know,
it definitely made a step, obviously, because he went on to do the British Championship stuff. Yeah. And then ended up coming British.
He won it.
Yeah, he won it. He was champion at that as well. Like,
the World Championship is so tight. There's no, you can't go out for a lap and just feel the circuit. Like,
yeah,
you know, you have to go out and bang every corner, every lap is you need it. Like, you need it full throttle. Like, you can't.
Especially in them smaller bikes, like.
Oh, wow, yeah.
They're some of them you would carry in.
Well, that's where you were saying about your strategies. Oh, for fast and super bikes, some of the things, but like that's what you're saying about your qualifying strategies. Since they're so close, and they're not particularly quick as well. Like slipstream is crucial.
Oh, crucial. Like, not on all circuits, but yes, but
yeah, but
crucial,
there's like a lot of circuits like where even like Mazzano down the back, but like you could gain half a second just from a slipstream, where it's hard to make that up around the rest of the track. Like, but so going on to. It was a couple of years you were obviously making headway. There was probably a stage where you weren't qualifying for races, then qualifying for races, starting to score points.
Like we at the start, and then few 2-3 years, like you know, getting a point to us was a pint.
Yeah.
You know, like having a pint. Well done, boys. You know, getting to that step of because the team is in that race, and you're looking for 0.5%, less than 0.5% on 10 things to try and get one. You know. You're looking for nothing.
Yeah, you're looking at small margins everywhere.
Like grease out of burn.
Yeah.
You know, like weird things that you overlook type of thing. Even on the bigger bikes, you know, we'll take that forward with us as a team and me as well into different, whatever I do in motorbikes. Like you'll take all that preparation because the rolling resistance thing is a massive part of that. Every racing.
Now, what do you mean about grease out of burns?
Taking grease out of burn, taking the road grease out of burn. Like all them burns down there are greased for 50,000 miles. Like. You know, we only need to do 60 kilometres.
Flippin' heck.
You know, we don't need thick, heavy grease. You know,
flippin' heck.
So
that is fine margins.
It's nothing like.
And you had the crew chief role from the start then.
Yeah.
So obviously, you're progressing, you're learning as well as the team's evolving, riders changing, everything ever evolving. Like obviously, you're learning stuff year upon year, the do's and the don'ts. I'm sure there's. And a lot of this stuff, there's more don'ts than there is do's, like, and it takes a lot of time to work that out as well.
There's a lot to learn, in it, like, and I don't think you'll stop learning.
No, you never stop learning.
Phil Martin has been a big help for me, like.
Yeah.
And the little times I've been pestering him for help and information, like.
Yeah.
He's just a great fellow, like, real down to earth fellow, like. And one of the biggest things I had a problem with was when do you put the arm around the rider and when do you punch him in the face, like.
Yes.
And how do you do it?
How do you punch him?
How do you pull it? Work that out, I think. But I didn't. I sort of was. It was just shortly after that time when Paddy said to me about your job on the line, maybe a season after it, and it was sort of I was in a situation where you do need to hug a rider sometimes and encourage him, and that was good. We made improvements there, but there's also times you need to say, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, you know, like what you've wasted that whole session. Why didn't you try what we talked about? You basically just threw that 30 minutes away, like, and never. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it is a balance, like. And I spoke to him, a lengthy conversation with him about this and how you sort of deal with it now. Like I say, but you're learning, and then
you're learning like you're telling us, you're trying to get into the mind of the racer, the mind of your pilot as such. Like, so we touched on it briefly before, where your relationship with your rider, it's obviously based on trust, based on confidence, based on your confidence that you're going to do the right step for the rider.
Yeah.
How long did it take for you to, like, you know, how long does it normally take for you and a rider to, you know, either gel and get that trust built within each other?
One result.
Yeah. And then it's nearly like a light switch.
It's nearly a light switch, yeah. And it could be a result in a practice session. And, or it needs, well, maybe not even one result, one change that actually made a difference to the rider.
Right.
Yes.
You know,
or like a PB or something like that.
There is a point, obviously, because you can talk away and you can talk over track maps and everything else, like. But there is probably a point off that, or maybe a change, or maybe a big change or a small change where he feels something and he goes, right, we spoke about that. This is happening.
Yeah.
You know, it maybe takes two of them for him. You know, I don't know.
Yes.
Like, but
But
then it works the other way as well. If I need something tried differently on track and he doesn't do it, like just saying there, just wasting time, then you're just hitting your head off the wall.
Yeah.
Where the guy that gives me something back again, you know, actually does what you want him to do, even if it's wrong. You still, what I'm looking at or what I'm thinking, or,
so,
you know, you have to try these things.
This would
to
be
get
a good
better.
one for like the listeners and viewers there who don't actually see the side of bikes. Obviously, they see the race, right? But what would be a typical weekend for you from start to finish? So obviously Thursday setup. We just do a debrief or a preview anyway, or like a pre-brief.
You sit there, you have a sort of, we do a thing after the events, sort of an email format of just a quick pros and cons type of thing, quick questions and answers. So we have something, you know, because at the end of a Sunday when everybody's finished, it's just boom down and everybody goes their separate ways and you're home, like. So we have something there, and we usually sit down with that and go through any issues that happened at the last round, or any things that worked well, didn't work well as a team.
Yeah.
But then you bring the rider in as well and you speak to him, but that's sort of just between me and him.
Yeah.
You speak to him and ask him, is there anything, he has maybe a few questions or a few things he didn't think helped him, you know, that sort of thing. You do start with a sort of put the last round to bed, and then you start again, like, so you're starting fresh every weekend, like you're not carrying something, because yesterday's gone, like, you know, there's nothing you can do about the last round, like it's finished, like, but what you do now moving forward makes a difference.
I don't know about you, but I'm picturing, you know, the Formula 1 teams around the circuit with all the headphones and all.
That's exactly it.
Is that
That's exactly. I might have been putting the awning up in the sweat lashing off.
He's shouting over him,
With you and your rider, do you like to go for a track walk on the Thursday
just track
night?
walk on a Thursday, yeah.
Bring your wee clipboard clipboard to you? Yeah,
and that's more a social thing.
Yeah.
You know, as obviously we do gearing and things, because he's maybe rode 4 different wee tracks or different bikes or everything. So you sort of get him into the zone, and you as well. You know, I need to be walking the track, so when he says to me, going into turn 3, I'm getting a lot of this or a lot of that, where you can visualize turn 3 as a slight incline or a decline, or you know, you have to get your head into it.
Yeah.
Because when he's talking to me, I need to, maybe that's where I'm slightly different, where I don't focus on the figures. I can feel what he's
trying to tell you.
What he's trying to tell me, and from racing as well has helped.
That's true.
You know, I know that obviously I didn't touch my suspension, like.
Yes,
so I know what it would feel like if I done it, like. But yeah, we'll go for a walk on a Thursday, more so just to, you know, hello, how's family, blah, 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 just to get sort of that.
Get break the ice a wee bit.
Break the ice, and then it's quick chat about the first session. Nothing major, because you want to go out and get your dart on the board and see where you are. And then after that, it could be a 5-minute debrief after each session, or it could be an hour.
Yes.
Fully dependent on what happened there.
Yeah.
There's no real set.
The format was a bit different this year, wasn't it? With the 300s, you only had like one free practice, and then it was in the qualifying.
Yeah, 25 minutes practice.
So that made your free practice probably a wee bit more important.
It made Friday very intensely.
Yeah.
Because you didn't get that opportunity to maybe try something that wasn't sort of normal. As such, like, you have to wait until warm up to try that.
Yes.
So you go out in your practice, you put your best foot forward in practice, and if you're having any big issues, obviously you sort them straight away. But any fine tuning, you can't really fight. You have to just get something that's going to do the job, you know, and hopefully be right. Like, you can't make any drastic changes. Like,
which probably made it was harder for you as well, because obviously we're probably jumping back forward a wee bit, but you obviously being a new manufacturer for this year, all your data from years gone by
put in the bin,
means nothing to you. It's like, so For this format where you've only had like one free practice session then into qualifying with a new bike, new data, trying to work everything out. I'm sure it was, as you say, it was a stressful Friday. Like
it was very stressful Friday, like.
But
and the stress didn't go off because every warm up on Saturday and Sunday you were trying different things.
Mm-hmm.
We did have a good testing program, so we did get a lot of the basic information. You know, throw it up, down, left, up. You know, we had all the basic sort of.
I just knew what didn't work, what did work. You know,
in the round. You know, in the round, like. But it was a big challenge. Like, you say, with 5 years of data, even though your data is just to look back on and give you an idea, like. But even what changes and what that change does to the bike, this new Chinese thing, you had no idea. Like, it was completely fresh. Like.
This new Chinese yoke.
It wasn't the bike they run the year before because we had to put our own clutch or check clutch into it and the turbo suspension.
Right. Okay. So
so it completely changed what they were using.
So going back just a wee bit, what I'd like to talk about. So you were probably in year 3 or 4 when you got your maiden win in Aston with Danny Mahega. What was that like at the time? Amazing.
It was just a relief off the world, I think. Like, just to get that.
The monkey off your back.
We were funny. It's a conversation me and Paul had before this. Whenever we're ifs and buts, you know, and I all kept saying to Paul, I haven't got a timesheet. I haven't got a timesheet that says race 1, P1. You know, so it doesn't matter how much crap you talk in a pub and ifs and buts and could have won this, but first coming onto the back straight and finish 6th. Like I said, well, I haven't actually I personally wanted a timesheet with P1 on it. And so was the whole team. That's our whole motivation. Everybody's motivation is to win. Like, you know, we're not there to take part at all. Like, we're there to win. Like, every one of us. Like, but to get that was a massive relief. Like, and then to get one the next day was just greedy.
Double. Like,
it was just icing on the cake.
So as you say, it was a weight off the back because I'm sure in the time leading up to that, you had weekends that you could forget about, like some shade.
You see, just talking about the weekends, people only see the 45 minutes of the glamour. You know, of the noise and the TV hypes it up and everything else, and you're there and among umbrellas and blah, 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 and they see the hype and the colours of it. Like, I could be on a flight on Wednesday morning at 6 o'clock in Dublin, which means I leave my house at midnight on Tuesday night, like, and that's me on the road from then until 36 hours or something before I might see a bed, like. And that's you 15-hour days right to Sunday to pack up and go. Like. You know, there's a massive commitment and behind the scenes. You
could be doing, obviously, you've done years of that before you've got anything back that you wanted.
That's what I was saying, like the amount of sort of times you were dragging your heels, you know, really not motivated to get on planes, like. Where it takes that one result and it just fires you up again, like, and you'd walk to England to get a plane. You've got that momentum going, like,
so you can get that feeling.
That's the buzzing we all chase. You as well, like, that's the feeling you chase, like.
It is.
Like, you finish second and it's great, like, you know, home with second, but you're really happy, like.
You can
first loser.
Every time you threw it down the road or any ship result or any time you had a fixed bike, so it was all somehow, even though in theory it doesn't, but it always justifies itself. Once you get a result,
once you get that win, all them late night, all that's forgotten
all
about,
the
like
money spent,
missed
everything,
flights, everything,
you don't care,
arguments,
all them years of hurt, and it all comes down to one.
So obviously that was a great emotion, and what would that have been, 2024?
2024, yeah,
2024. So that would have only been last year. So, coming into like this year, new rider, Benat Fernandez. Rookie, no one really heard of him. I know done nothing. I know his mentor was Evan Frazke's ex Moto 3 Grand Prix race winner. Brilliant help.
Absolutely fantastic.
They were like a couple of dudes from like the Basque region, which is like Basque region is like, how would you say, it's like Ballycastle of Spain.
A couple of gypsies.
If you know what I mean, it's like it's up north. It's like still like green grass and shit up there. Like it's not really. It's like the first bit you hit when you go on the boat.
Yeah. Well, our first meeting with Benat was at Alicante, and we were meeting the factory Kove team.
Yes.
To have a look at the bikes and have a run the bike. And this 17-year-old turns up, and there was that much fog down that you couldn't see one. Like, I'm not exaggerating this. You couldn't see one corner from the next.
Right.
When we were standing out of the box and looked right and left, you couldn't see any corner. You couldn't even see the track on the other side of the barrier. Nothing. And he goes out and he comes in. He goes out, does 4 or 5 laps, what have you. And I said to the other fella's clutch is slipping. You can hear it coming on this because you couldn't see anything. You were just going with your senses. Like. I said he'll be in here in a lap like his clutch is slipping. And he came in, checked the clutch, everything was fine. Like, he said, you definitely, like, a wee bike shouldn't be spinning. Like, he was sliding out the last corner on the start finish.
What?
Yeah.
Never seen this track before. And he was about a second quicker than Danny. Danny's dry time. Danny's full dry, full good mode Danny. Like,
Yeah.
the second quicker. Like, he said,
And that was your first
away.
impression of this kid?
first impression was, and he was so professional.
Yeah.
He was goofy and cocky, but not.
But it
So
was
weird.
likeable.
Here's a
Likeable,
question
yeah.
for you as well, because obviously you've worked with riders for different nationalities and stuff, and you only speak Clogher, don't you?
Oh,
You don't
that's it.
speak any other
Yeah,
languages.
yeah. I can order a coffee and a beer.
Yeah.
On a daily basis. And that's about the height of it.
So has a language barrier ever been an issue for you, for any of your riders?
It has been an issue, but not an issue because sounds and hand movements are better than lengthy
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's international language. Like
Yeah,
it is,
yeah.
And there's times where you don't need to speak any
Yeah.
words.
Mhm.
You know, you point at a track. There's the problem area.
Yeah.
Fix that. Like, but
Aye,
there's-
aye, aye.
but go on.
See,
But you see, like we're the silly. We only speak one language,
Mhm.
and you expect everybody else to speak English.
Yeah.
90% of them do.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
wee fella's 17, 18 now, and he speaks perfect fluent English. Like,
Full English.
fluent
We
English.
don't even speak fluent English, like.
No.
Oh, I do. Like.
Well,
Do
you,
you?
can, you can speak a bit of gypsy, like.
Yeah.
What a thing.
It's never been an issue, apart from if we're standing having a conversation away from the track,
Yeah.
the conversation might be hard, like,
Mhm.
but actually work-wise, it's not. It's
So-
the same process, it's the same.
So your first initial reaction to this kid, obviously, he kind of half blew your mind. Did you know that you were working with something a bit special
He
here?
didn't, no, probably,
No.
it would be untrue to say yes at that point, like,
Okay.
because it was the first test, it was fog, we couldn't see anything, the data wasn't working on the bike, the Kove boys were having their own problems, we were sort of pushed into the corner.
What track was this at, by the way?
I think it was Alicante.
Mm-hmm.
Alicante?
No, Alicante's a...
No, that's an
jail.
airport.
Alicante.
That's a...
Alicante's a
No,
resort.
Alicante's an airport.
Almeria, was it?
No,
No.
it sounds like Alcaraz, but that's definitely
Alcatraz.
a jail. That's maybe the jail.
Oh, yeah. I know the one you're on about. Well, I'm not going
That's
to say it.
terrible.
I've
Like,
got
that's
two.
terrible. Like,
Yeah.
but that's where
Somewhere in
like,
Spain.
Yeah, actually
Yeah.
the setup sheet. That's the name on it.
Yeah. So,
The-
Alcazares.
I'll do it. That could be it. Yeah, that'll do.
Never heard of it.
That'll
Oh,
do.
no, I think I just made that up.
That'll
Anyway,
do.
right, that'll
You
do.
turn
So
into it
right
and you go downhill to the paddock, like,
Right,
and the
okay.
cafe's up above you.
Yeah. Where's the beer
Where's
shop?
the
Up
beer?
above you. There's a beer shop in every Spanish track.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we went up. Say what, it was a bit of messy in the paddock, because there was other things happening. Like, but we went up sort of upstairs, up behind the track, like, and again you couldn't see. You could just see him disappearing and coming in, disappearing and coming in. He never missed an apex, and over here the track would have been stopped, like, it was that much fog, like, but the bits we could see him coming into view and going out of view and coming into view and out of view, he was bang on perfect, hanging over the curb, just looked amazing, like.
Yeah.
But again at that point, no, I wouldn't say he's special. I'd say maybe he's stupid.
Right, okay.
Because he was going blind with fog down the
Right
down
enough.
it. Just
Yeah.
so I didn't know at that point, was he a 17-year-old just trying to go for it? Get coming into a team here, and do it. But
Was he mature enough?
fast forward to the first round in Portugal, like, and mindset was completely changed. Like,
Yeah.
completely changed. Like, just how professional, how mature, still goofy and stupid behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially me and him are having a bit of crack. Like, he's a child. Like,
Yeah.
well, not a child now, but he's like, I'm 20 years older than him.
Yeah.
But to see him sort of playing video games and stuff, and then just boom, serious, and then straight into child mode again. Like,
Just switching.
has he been brought up, or he's a product of Evan Fastcase, obviously.
yeah.
Yes.
full product off him. Yeah.
Full product off him, and that's the mentality that he's been brought up.
The mentality of him,
Every
it's
time
nearly
you sit on a
German.
motorbike.
It's nearly German. It's just,
Yeah,
you know,
military.
this is the path. Like,
Yeah.
this is
And then how much help was the likes of a mentor like Evan Fastcase to you?
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Efran was a big credit. Like, we have had other guys before that came with riders, and they were their mates or something, like, and they were no use to you as a tool. They were just a nuisance, like, all right, they were doing his helmet and different things and blah, but he had to do his own stuff. Efren doesn't do any of that. Like,
No.
he's putting them in, his feet are on the ground, like.
Yeah.
But where it helped me massively was if I had something I needed to do, something I needed to try. The clutches, we're having issues with clutches, and we had to redesign the clutch a bit, like, because we're just burning them out too much because we're slipping so much. What I needed to say to Benat would have took too long.
Yes.
In English, where Efren has the background, mechanical and obviously fantastic rider, like, I could sit him down and tell him it all in 15, 20 minutes. And he just goes in and just boom, unleashes it onto him instead of me maybe messing up.
They lost in translation a wee bit.
And something lost, like where I could say to him, this is what I need done, boom, and it's completely like a computer, just input it into him. Like.
Yeah. And how difficult was that? Obviously, you had good help there with Efron.
Efron.
I'm glad I got that.
Yeah, some names you have to learn.
Oh, I know. But for learning, having a new rider and a new machine as well,
mental.
Was it like you sometimes pulling your hair out and just thinking, no, this isn't working?
You can't be seen to pulling your hair out.
No,
you know,
that's
because
weakness.
There's somebody watching you all the time. Like, you know, there's plenty of times where I'm standing and you're not questioning your work, but you have a big workload. Like, you know, and you're wanting answers, needing that. You know, it's a big
boiling
workload.
Over nearly.
But you just have to channel it and you know deal with that thing. Like, you can't. If you took it all in one lump, you wouldn't handle it. Like, you couldn't handle it. And then the likes of them coming and asking, talking to you, and different inputs. Like, and you just need to channel it sort of in the priority, like who needs dealt with first and what needs to be told, what doesn't need to be said. Like,
and with the change from Kawasaki to this Chinese brand, I'm sure that would have been a shock and is this the right thing to do?
Well, definitely. But Paul, we joked about it over a beer, and then went and looked at it and went, "There's scrap." Like,
yeah.
Chinese plastic wheels.
It just all looked cheap, and the engine looked as if it was Red Bull cans. You know, made it just. But here, this is looking. You know yourself at a track, you can't go and examine somebody's bike because they're always standing around or cover over different things. Like, and Paul rang me and says, "We're going Chinese now." I was like, "You're joking?" I said, "No, we're going Chinese now." But it was supposed to be with the factory team was supposed to be running. We were supposed to be like a hybrid team.
Right, okay.
Like a solid supported team?
Like a solid supported team. And then Kove pulled the budget on this factory team.
Right.
So we were left in late January, February with no Kawasaki stuff because half it was sold.
Yeah.
Or just lying somewhere I didn't care about.
Yeah.
And no Chinese bikes available.
Right. And
then we had entered, again, this is not my area, but because we had entered Kove, then we could have been court and fined. It's all it's a business, like it's not it's not a just turn up at Curtis and run with
you had if you signed up for the year on a certain manufacturer.
You're signing up, you're buying that grid spot.
Okay.
And with that grid spot, you have to be on the track every session.
There was penalties.
Big penalties,
Because I've heard of stuff before as well, BSB and World Championship. If you have a rider, if you have a 2-man team and your rider gets injured, he has to be replaced. If you have a 2-week period, you have to have someone else. You get fined. Like,
you have to replace them on Saturday.
Yeah. I don't know what.
Yeah, after Saturday, you don't have to replace them.
Because a lot of times I'd be like, at teams, like, they didn't hang about. That's
part of the contract.
That's part of the contract.
So we're contract. We have to have a rider on standby on Friday to fly out on Friday. Like.
Can you tell us who your rider is?
I don't know. Like, we have connections now because we're in Spain. The team's in Spain. The workshop's in Spain. We have connections in all them paddocks.
Yes, so it's not Gareth Keys.
Well, I think I did see Keys mentioned. Like, I think I did. Like,
that was before the sump went on. Like. I've lost a wee bit of it.
I haven't seen your name yet. I've seen Team Billy Road down.
That would be some experience, but for some young cub.
But then again, as I say, same with the TT thing, you don't want a young cub.
No, you don't.
You don't want a young cub and just T-balling that in the middle of that. Like,
I keep thinking these are 16, 15.
No,
these are.
See, when we go home, we'll have to put like some clips in, or we'll have to put a link into like we'll have to put it in for the Jerez race.
Oh man.
Tell you what, have you ever watched it? No. The last race in Jerez.
Last year?
Yeah, we're going to put it into the link below. We're going to, copy.
Is that the one? That was the race?
That was the race. When the
just under half a second.
Crazy.
I don't even know what the time was. It was mental.
It was 0.404 of a second across the line.
I want to get into it as soon as possible. It was fantastic. Like, so obviously, I think your first round was Portimao, wasn't it? And you just won. Big round outside move.
But the first thing that got my attention with him there was, first of all, how professional he was. But in qualifying, Jeffrey Bush stands out. He's a 3-time world champion. Garcia, somebody else. There was 4 or 5 of them in a bunch. But coming on, this is in qualifying, coming onto the back straight, or coming on to start-finish straight, sorry. He rode around the outside of Bush, and I thought, chancey here, like, he's going to run out of road or he's going to crash here, like. Yeah. And he pulled it back in, boom, 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 pull, like. I thought that was a move. It wasn't a young.
No, it wasn't a rookie. Like, no,
it was controlled and it was thought out and it was
calculated.
Actually, it's absolutely perfect. Like, and then every race he was in, the second race he learned from the first race. like massively to the point where any bystander could see that he had actually learnt from that. You know, it wasn't just by chance. Like it's just like a computer, just kept sort of.
And I can't think of, even though he's young, mistakes didn't really come.
Never missed an apex.
Never missed. It
tracks
did
he was never
seem
on before,
fairly
like.
kind of like robotic that way, like, and he seemed kind of a wee bit of ways above, like beyond his years.
Yeah.
In terms of, he always, I don't remember very many DNFs.
None.
Do you think that's because
did he have a DNF? I don't think I had a DNF.
It probably is their credit as well.
I should know the answer.
Like,
ring my wife. Ring the wife.
How many ferns did you go through? None.
No. Oh no. No, we went through a belly pan every session.
Right.
Because we couldn't get the bike up.
Right.
And then
dodgy setup.
Dodgy setup.
Dodgy setup.
Zeus fasteners, man.
And there was other things. There was other things we changed to make this happen. Like went through a belly pan every session. But apart from that, nothing.
Sponsored by ice pawn or anything? No.
No, we're not allowed in.
No.
Disguise pawn. Too heavy. They're taking grease out of burger.
Yeah.
Stickers, just putting stickers over holes. Like.
Obviously, he's had a really good, consistent, steady championship run right into Jerez then.
Yeah.
Tell us a wee bit about the first race, because first race was mental.
First race was crazy. And the first race, so the two competitors were either knocked off or put out of the points.
Mm-hmm.
So we were I was red flagged. I was red flagged with 5 laps to go, but a couple of corners more and it would have been called a result.
Mm-hmm.
And we were 25, 30 points or something in the lead. Like.
Yeah.
That emotion was crazy. Saturday's emotion was absolutely crazy. Like it just seemed to be, the whole paddock sort of zoned in on us because we were only one rider, one manufacturer, and one rider team. Like, and we were an Irish team that they sort of looked at us maybe not. They wouldn't look at us as a joke, but we weren't. We're all a bunch of friends.
You weren't the established Spanish kind of,
When you picture World Superbikes and their awnings, it's all, and we are professional. Like we turn up, you sign in, and we're as professional as the next fella.
But you have the crack too.
But we'll have the crack as well. But we maybe didn't have the prestige and the appearance of the bigger sort of 40-footer teams, all that thing. Like. But it did feel like the whole paddock had just closed in on us on Saturday. Like it was a weird feeling. Like. But the race, he was fantastic in the race, like absolutely fantastic. Our bike was slow all year. We'd done lots of things with it and couldn't get it any quicker. That's what it was. We knew what we signed up for, and that was it. Like the Kawasaki's were quicker, KTM's were quicker in the cold weather. But that first race, he was first to fifth. Never any further back. Never panicked. Anytime he went back, he just came forward again, back, forward again. And then the red flag came out, and we're not allowed to touch very much on the bike. We're allowed to touch suspension.
Right.
If it was a red flag situation. There's a lot of rules, like you're not allowed to take tire pressures or think, there's a lot of things you get caught out on.
Right.
And everybody's watching you like.
Muscle memory stuff.
Yeah. So he pulled in, and obviously we were all hyped by emotion, like, and pulled in. Carter, is he going to get out? Is he going to? But again, you don't notice anything. Well, I don't notice anything else apart from there's my rider. Here we go. And I went over to him and says, because you don't get that opportunity to make changes during a race. Like, I went over and says, anything you think you can do better. And he just left it his visor and said, I've got this. Shut the visor again.
Brilliant.
But not in a cocky.
No, you believed him. Like, it wasn't like,
I did believe, and the we was talking about changing tire pressure and things. I just said, no touch.
Leave him alone.
He said he's got it. Yeah. And I trust him. Like.
Can you do that in his accent?
No,
that would have been.
I was going to quite like Arnold Schwarzenegger there. He doesn't sound like that. Like, I've got that. But he's just so calm and like from coming from what was there 5 laps to go? I think so. What's that? 6, 7 laps, flat out like, and he just to lift that and just say that was it. That's all the communication. Don't drink, no, just got this. Got this. Yeah.
That's confidence.
But he didn't get it that day, like, because he could put it in the gravel.
So then rolling into the Saturday then, that's where I was...
And the Sunday.
In the Sunday,
The Sunday was a completely different atmosphere.
Yeah.
Calm, no pressure, no tension, and I think it was because everybody knew it was the last race. It was up to them 4 riders. Whoever beat each other won the championship.
Yeah.
And I think that brought a calm, especially for me as well. Like, there's no more you can do. And it put a lot of pressure on the 2 mechanics.
Yeah.
Because we haven't had a mechanical. Didn't have a mechanical this year.
Yeah.
And it put a lot of pressure on them, obviously, to make sure nothing stupid happened. Like, and it did just go down to him. Never touched the bike for Sunday.
Never touched
it.
fresh set of hoops on it. Just
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Didn't want to touch. He didn't even want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
There was a couple of areas we seen on the last corner and the corner before the last corner, the right-hander before, like, and he just went, "Oh, that's her." Which again, come back to that sofa job, like, you know, he knew what he was on, where he could push it all angles, like, fantastic. Like.
Coming on to the last lap, right? I think he's maybe about 5th or 6th, was he?
Yeah, it could have been far back.
Where was the heart rate? Where was Scott at this time? Like, was he?
I don't really remember my thoughts in the last lap until not Garcia, Torres.
Yes.
No, not Torres either. Probably finished second in the championship.
Thompson.
Yellow bike. No.
The yellow bike.
Yeah.
Salvador.
Mm-hmm. When Salvador knocked off the green bike. Like,
yes.
Jesus
Christ,
was
we there, no?
The
yellow bike hit the green bike.
I remember that, the yellow bike being the green, but I don't know the name.
Right. So the Salvador, the championship contention fella, right?
The yellow bike.
Salvador,
Salvador. He came around the corner and knocked and blatantly swiped him, right?
Yeah.
And I can just remember that happening and me yelling, "We've got it."
Yes.
It didn't matter where he finished.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's right, because Carter Thompson was leading it, right? So that's your green bike, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then yellow bike, green bike.
No, this was a different fella. This was nothing to do with championship except the yellow bike.
Right, okay.
The yellow bike hit him off, but at that point Carter was behind and we were in front.
Yes.
And I said, that's it. It doesn't matter where we fit. It doesn't matter if he beats us.
Yeah.
Because he's out. Like, he can't, like, he'll get a 3-second penalty for that.
Yes.
Regardless, like, the stewards are hard, but they're fair. You know,
they're
fair.
They have to be, especially in that class.
The next corner, Carter comes up the front, and then we get that gap and we went back to 7th.
Yeah.
But that's where my memory comes. I don't really remember the first half of the first lap. Like, and then coming to that, the last corner, that gap he had coming around the right-hander, the wind changed, and we had debates whether to change gear or not. Yeah. So now debates in my own mind as well, like, because the Kawasaki was really low geared. On that last right-hander, it was way down at 7,000, because I have all the data from the Kawasaki. Yeah. And there was a big headwind hitting at a 50-50, whether to, maybe not a 60-40, whether to make a change. Because if we had been leading there, we would have finished 10th. Because our bike had no punch. Everything just worked out perfect. But he had that 5 bikes. Yeah. So when he came out of there and left it, he had a big massive hole. Do you think that's what nailed him? Like.
Do you think he calculated this?
No.
He's not that smart.
No, I'd say he was
some things in life just align themselves.
He was in panic mode there, like,
apart,
that gap, like,
Really?
But again, never spun once, never slipped, never,
Brilliant.
You know, and that move into the last corner, until you're standing on the track. When you're standing at the track looking at that last corner, it's banked like that, but the inside off is banked further, and it nearly, when you're looking at it, it nearly comes round on you.
Right.
And when we were doing the track walk, we told them, like, listen, if you go in there, we're not winning the race, because we have no power. Yeah. You know,
to get back,
we have no power out of there. You'll get swamped going down there, like. And just when you watch it now with that wee bit of knowledge, you'll see that everybody got bounced out.
Yeah.
And the guy, Salvador, the yellow bike, was on the same line as him. So it didn't make any difference. Nobody gained anything. Yeah. And that's how he was able to drag him.
And then what emotion? I remember watching on Discovery and I saw the emotion when you guys, when you crossed the line, like, you swear.
It was nearly weak knees. It was such a weird emotion. Like, it was just like, surreal, I suppose. Or maybe surreal's not a strong enough word for it. Like, it was just, and then you're constantly checking the monitor to make sure.
It's a verge of disbelief.
Disbelief.
I know, make sure there's no penalties.
And even after it, even sort of during the celebrations, and that's another weird thing that's not talked about. You have to put forward your, if you win it, your
representative.
No, you're flying the flags and what you're going to do on the track.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
right.
Your show,
your celebration.
Right. You have to put in writing what your celebration is.
No way.
What corner it's going to be. How many people's involved? Who's the people involved?
Right enough, so like you have entitlement to go there. Like,
so the way you see Marquez stops and boys, or Top Rack stops and boys come out with flags. No, that's all documented.
Really?
The day them marshals know.
It's not on the moment, like.
There's 3. You don't just jump the fence. Like,
just the fence with a big number 1 on it.
Oh, see, is this for insurance and all
for everything? So they know what's going on, and then they obviously have to work it with their camera crew. And here, I'm talking nothing to do with me. Like. But on Saturday,
so you think it's going to be something to do with him? Like?
Oh no, it's nothing to do with me. It's nothing to do with me. I take nothing to do with that. Like. Right. But on Saturday we had to prepare screens and that with number 1s on them. Yeah, and it was a real. That was probably a worse feeling of the weekend because we were stickering them on, going, this could be just through in the bin.
I know. I know.
I have a similar story. I don't want to obviously eating to what you're doing. I have a similar story, right? When I was racing the BSB, they came round about half an hour before like the final race, okay? And it could have been like a bit of a championship decider. And these, BSB white shirts handed all the teams, or well, it was me and obviously my guys, like a piece of paper and says, if you win this championship, you have to stay behind and get photos. And I remember just before the race looking at this piece of paper, and every time I couldn't even fucking read it. Like it's the same thing, but it's the same emotion that you were saying. You have these number one stickers and these t-shirts that you could be hoofing over the ferry on the way home. Like,
and the fact that you had to, by contract, you had to.
Yeah, I have to do it. Like,
and the guys were out there on Saturday as well. Our guys were at that corner at that thing with all them flags and everything. Like, that's probably not seen behind us.
You feel like you're tempting fate there. Like,
do you try?
I don't believe in that.
Yeah, but it has to be a bit of something.
End at one door, out the other. I don't believe in any of that stuff and luck and bad luck. It's all part of what it is. Like, but that felt weird. Sticking them up. I didn't stick them. Like mechanics, they don't let me touch anything. I go near the toolbox. They're asking me, "What are you doing in that toolbox?" Like, but to see that and be involved in that and make everybody asking for right teach value, but it was weird. Yeah, weird. And all that emotion came out on Sunday.
Yeah,
all that massive sort of pressure inside your head just.
And when would it have sunk in for you guys? Or when did it sink in for you?
It probably didn't sink into me that I was at home.
Or do you? This is crazy. Do you actually know how big it is?
No.
He doesn't watch it. He doesn't know.
No, he doesn't watch it. He don't know what it is. Like, he thinks everyone does it.
Like whenever I'm out anywhere, I don't tell anybody what I do.
No.
I've never bumped about anything I've done, right? Anything I've done. And if we were out sitting here and the wife's with me and we're talking and say, "Oh, what do you do?" I'm sales assistant at Farm Merchant. And then she'll instantly just go, "But you also do this?" Like, I work a motorbike, go out motorbikes.
Yeah. You don't bum and blow about it.
Never have, but it probably, it's obviously a massive thing, it's a world championship. Like, it's not taken away from anything here. It's a world championship against factory teams and everything else. Like, but it probably didn't really hit home until I was standing work and this complete randomer came up to me, like, and just shook my hand and said, "Massive well done," like. Didn't know you were in the paper in the crowd.
Yeah.
It's complete random. I know nothing about motorbikes, nothing about anything. He just said, "I don't know much about it." He said, "But you're involved in a world title. Well done." Like.
Jesus Christ.
And I think then come from the ram, I just went, that's
something.
Yeah, but honestly, no, it still hasn't sort of
like the fastest team, Supersport 300 team in the world. The world's a big place. Like.
The world's a big place.
It's a massive
thing. They don't give anything away. Like, you know what I mean? They don't give anything.
Like. And I know the work. I know the work that is into it to get to that, like, and I should probably let it sink in harder, but it's weird, like.
You think right, so there's 6 FIM World Championships in the world, right? There's a lot of motorbike racing happens in the world, a lot of people race motorbikes, but there's only 6 World Championships in the world. There's your Moto3, Moto2, MotoGP, 300s, Supersport and Superbikes. So that means there's only 6 riders become world champion. It means there's only 6 crew chiefs. So out of everyone who thinks that they can, turn a spanner or look at a laptop and stuff, there's only 6 people this year in the whole world. It's just mad that 2 of them come from this country alone. Like, so a third. Quick maths. Look at that.
Third.
So there's only 6 people basically in this whole world this year can deem themselves what you are. You know what I mean? And that, it deserves what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is like it's more surreal even just when you're hearing that said, like, it should be sinking in hard, like, and it probably will at some point, like, but it's definitely it's a unique club of joint, like.
It is.
You're just too chilled back.
You're too he doesn't know. He doesn't like bikes. He doesn't follow racing. He's
doesn't like
weird.
people.
Like. It's weird.
Yeah.
For all the fastest men in the world.
Right. That's it.
Next season.
Yes, next season. Of course, next season. What's the game plan for Scott next season?
The game plan is just go again, like.
Yeah, go again.
When you're asking about that sinking in, 2 days after we won it, next year's already started.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. I was going to say, you're too busy thinking about next season.
Yesterday's news already on the day after it. And it's terrible to say that, like, terrible to say that.
So, obviously we know that the World Supersport 300 isn't no more. You won the final kind of edition of it, so you're on to pastures new in terms of class, in terms of sport bike. Yous are still going to be, are you officially factory Kove?
No, we're not. We're hybrid.
hybrid.
Well, Paul didn't want the full factory.
Okay.
And neither did we. Now, again, this has nothing to do with me. You know, I just work with the tools given me. But they wanted to become the full factory, us become the full factory team. And again, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but Paul has made a different arrangement that we're hired. He still has the reins, basically. Okay. So it's still the same. There's no difference except they're giving us more sort of input into the thing. Like, more, we have more answers to do rather than this year they just gave us a 40-footer with all the stuff and we played with it. Like,
yes.
You know, where they have a lot more input into it now. But no, we're starting with the 450, which is more or less ready to go. Like, waiting for a few bits and pieces just to finalise. Like, but then at some point at the start of the season, we're changing to their new bike. Okay. Which is 550, which we're going to need, like, in that class.
Because you're against some stiff competition. I'm sure you are aware of what these are going to be up against. There's no expectation for next year. No false illusions. There's no false illusion. Like, we know it's going to be difficult, especially with all the amount of riders and teams and bikes that have rode the last 2 years, or well, last year especially, or this year, sorry. And we're in development before us, like. But here, you know, I don't see any problem with the material we're getting. Like, you know, we'll be able to. And use a 2-rider team next year as well. So you're keeping Benat again, keeping Benat again, and then we signed Philip Thon, the German rider. Yes, he's next KTM rider. Next KTM rider, who is underrated in my eyes. Like, he's had a fantastic results, and then sometimes happens in a team. His results just went to crap, and he kept crashing his brains out. Like, and there's always, for me, looking back, he's not a crasher. You know, there's always something that, you know, again, you can crash. You do get a name for being a crasher, but he was never first, last, and crash. He was always that consistent rider. Like, and all of a sudden he just started crashing his brains out. Like, but he's mature. He's old. Well, he's older. He's 25 or 6, maybe that thing. Like, and he's head screwed on. Like, and I think he'll help us with development. Yes. With Benat, when Benat comes in from any session, that's all that bike can give him. There's nothing left. There is nothing left for him to offer, like, or the bike to offer. So we're going to get that from next year, but we're also going to get tons input maybe to try and help a direction. Like, Benat will come in and say that's it. Like, you'll know that's it. Yeah. Benat. So when does testing start for you? Testing starts on the 20th of February. 20th of February. It's not long to go now. When I was supposed to go to Vegas. Yeah, that's right. And where's that? It's in Portugal. First one's in Portugal, I think. Yeah, you think? I need to check my phone. You'll work it out. I get boarding passes sent to me. I get boarding passes sent to me, which is amazing. Yeah. And then I just go and turn on the job. Like. There's a good test at the start. 2 tracks at the start of the year. Portugal, and I'm going to say Oregon. No, Oregon's middle of March. There's a bit of testing. A bit of testing. Do you have the bikes yet? Have the bike yet. Yeah. Have the bikes, and they've just been sort of stripped down by the FAM and that to check homologate. And then you aren't allowed to sit on them until the official test, or we're going to Carcassonne. Maybe a Carcassonne. You might see my leathers out again. That would be brilliant. That would be brilliant. I'd pay to see that. Carcassonne Kart Track. Yeah. Where we'll give one map, I would say, is all I could get. Like. I am doing a bit of running now, so I might be fitter now than I ever was. Yeah. Class. Brilliant. Yeah. Class. Very little. Cycle past the pub next time. Yeah. No, I couldn't do that. No way. I'll break up. Are we ready for the final question? Or have you got anything else to ask? Right, I'll ask. That's fine. That's dangerous because I haven't done it yet. Who, out of all the racing and all the years, all the paddocks that you've ever been to around the world, who is the biggest nutbag? Biggest live wire. The biggest head case you've ever met. And you know there's plenty. You can't sit here especially like, especially being the road racing paddock. Is there like a mad Italian stallion out there? Or the road race paddock. Like a unique character of any. Just a general nutbag, like. A nutbag. Everyone wants a nutbag, like. Yeah, a real fucking all of us. I know. To narrow one down, like. I would say a lot of people would point the finger at me, like. Not so much now, like, but in the BSP and road race times, biggest nutbag. Could be a rider. It could be a rider. Could be a mechanic. Uncle. Jason. Oh, Jakey. Oh, Jakey. He is well up there. Like, that's a good one. That's a decent shout. Like, that's a good banker there. Like. Yeah, definitely. He knows how to party. Yeah. There's a lot of characters. Like. Yeah, that's what makes it. Like, have you any stories with him? With Jason? Yeah, well, I carried him across from the Ulster Grand Prix tent
carried him across the road one night, like, to get him to bed. He was in a good state, like. I got him with the trousers down on top of the bed.
He runs it rich, like, don't he?
Yeah. I will tell you a good story now.
Big jets.
I'll tell you a good story going back a few years now. We were with Dan. We were took out by a manufacturer, right? On-name manufacturer.
Oh, right, okay.
For a 5 or 6 day track day thing, or test day thing. We sort of piggybacked onto it to go and get track time. And they had every bike imaginable. The hotel booked out. They had every bike imaginable. Like, bikes I'd never even seen. Like, most of them, like, don't know the models, like. And we're riding these bikes, going out to the track, riding our own bike, come back again, like, all these fancy people paying to take stuff out, like. So before we went out one night, we decided to throw a toilet roll all around the hotel room, like.
Right.
Like, it was hanging everywhere. And it was one-ply toilet roll. If you know, this is not proper toilet roll, it was one-ply toilet roll. So anyway, the night went on, finished the night, came back again, and come into the hotel, and the guy was doing the floor with a big polisher thing, like, and I turned it off at the wall, and the yells and shouts off, and if I turned it on again, it swiped him off his feet, and started, and the guy had a cartoon, right? So it started spinning round, and he's lying on the ground trying to, reach up for it, and all the time it's pulling the extension cord, like mad, like a cartoon, tighter and tighter, until it flicked out, smashed the window in the vending machine.
That Benat. It's like Final Destination shit.
So Dan's reaction was water. We'll grab some water, so it's still a bit of water. And the security guard, I better watch, don't say where this was. Like, I'm totally clean if I don't say where it was.
No.
So we were running up the stairs because security guards after us. And I seen our floor, boom, turned into the room, shut the door, no sign of Dan, like. So I'm standing looking around the room going, that's a mess. Like, maybe 10 rolls of toilet roll everywhere. And I came with this vision, like, going, if I just light it,
it'll go away.
It'll just disappear.
No.
That's one-ply toilet roll. I hit it with a lighter, and I just
no, you didn't.
An inferno started in the room. I got everything. I got all the embers. The embers were floating about, like, and I got it onto the bed sheet, and the bed sheet caught on fire. Got the balcony door opened and got my bed, everything that was on fire, out the balcony, threw it over the balcony onto this flat roof. And as that happened, Dan comes in the door and shuts the door and just stands behind like a child saying, we have a problem. Right? Unaware of what I had been doing. Like, you don't know what a problem is, Dan. There's a mattress down there on fire on top of that flat roof. Like, and he says, no, he said, best thing we can do is go to bed here. Like, right. The bed. I had no bed lying on top of slats. And next thing the fire alarm goes off and our door starts getting pounded in. Like, I said, what have you done, Dan? What have you done? Nothing. Just forget it. They'll go away. The alarm's going off. They'll all go out of the hotel. The fire brigade, police, the whole hotel alarm off. Everybody that was involved in the hotel out the front. We eventually had to go out because we're doing room checks, bang the doors and room checks. Like. But that time, all the fire was out of the room then. Yeah. No matter, right enough, but there was no evidence. So we're standing outside and police there, fire brigade there, and they're trying to locate what happened and everything else. Like. And Dan says to me, there's a fella locked up in the roof. He ran up the stairs from the security guard, opened the fire door. The security guard ran out and he shut the fire door and got back down the room. So the whole time this is going on. And this is 3 hours after this, 2 hours after this happened. Like, he's telling me there's a boy up on that roof. Like,
oh, brilliant. Holy shit.
Got away with all of it now.
What a character.
Just
flip it back.
Is he still up on there?
No, we went in, I got a mattress and fixed my bed, like, because so we got no trouble, like. And he went up, kept my door open, he was up 2 flights of stairs, like, opened the door and just legged it down in. Like,
Jesus Christ, this is like
that was
Roadrunner
class.
And the Hangover.
That's a core memory there, like. The next morning at breakfast time, the police there wanting, people you're supposed to pay for the emergency service, like, every one of them was out, like, police, everything was out, like.
Jesus.
What away, weren't it?
Brilliant.
Awesome.
That's one story.
That's one story.
That is class.
Yeah, we're going to have to knock the cameras off to tell us a few more here.
There's a few more. You can
let the fucking toilet paper.
Sorry, let her up.
That's a really good idea.
Have you ever lit toilet paper? Like, it does go foam, right?
It does.
So in my mind, with a few beers I said, I know how I'll get rid of this problem. Yeah. I just hit it, and I just went, the air conditioning blowing it out, just went foam.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. Class.
Fantastic.
So maybe on par with Jason. Like, I can maybe fight Jason.
I was about to say, I think you Jakey look a bit.
You can put your own hand up with that question.
Yeah.
That's what I thought you were
Self-titled
getting. I thought you
flag.
were wanting me to admit there.
Yeah.
That's a belter.
Well, you had to give us an example. You certainly did.
Well,
like.
there you are.
Scott, thank you very much,
No,
man. It's
thank
been an
you.
honour, and
Thanks for having me.
congratulations on your achievements this year. You should be proud of yourself.
Yeah.
And thank you for coming on Comedy Corner.
No,
And we'll be
thank you
close
very much.
and keeping a close eye on you.
And you're the
Next
Christmas
year,
special as well, so you know,
Yes, Christmas Day
Yeah.
special
After the King's speech.
after King's,
after the King's speech.
see how you get on.
Maybe
It's pretty
same
decent,
time.
like halfway
We
through.
don't want to take his
Yeah.
flair away. You know?
Aye.
No, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes,
No,
no,
thank you
thank
very
you,
much,
buddy.
man.
Absolute
Yeah.
gentleman.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
All right.